SNN Street News Now.
Welcome to the show. It is Thursday night, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 p.m. in the Midwest. And here on the left coast, it is a little after 6. How's that? Welcome to the show. I hope you've had a good week so far. We have surpassed the hump day, and we're still alive. I hope all is well with you. Now, see, what has happened since we last met? Well, Rush Limbaugh died. Okay. Mitch McConnell and the former president has been having words, as we all knew was going to happen, because he is a evil, disgusting human being. And he is still trying to be divisive, trying to keep this country divided, and still spewing hate and lies. He was on Fox, still saying he won. What do we need to go and give this guy electric shock treatment to make him stop lying? And to anyone who still believes one iota that he won, you're as stupid as he is. No, you're dumber than he is, because he's pimping you out and you're believing it. That's what's happening. He's pimping you out, and you too stupid to understand that that's what's going on. He lost. Not one legitimate organization, bean counter, court, judge, and any lawyer that has an IQ 2 points above plant life has said, and it's been confirmed and reconfirmed, recount after recount after recount, it's over. You lost by a lot, a landslide, 7 to 8 million votes behind. I don't give a damn if you had 80 million and Biden had 82, you lose. You lost the Electoral College. Give it up. Stop the lies. Let's move on. If you still have political ambitions, then you need to let that shit go. And I mean right now. Otherwise, your credibility will continue to go down. And your ratings are going down. Plain and simple. You can't continue to live a lie and think that people are going to go for it. It doesn't work that way. Straight up. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm getting angry now. You know, before I was just concerned. I'm getting pissed off now. That I'm sick and tired of my intelligence being insulted by this moron. And to anybody that's still walking around with a red hat on, okay, fine, that's your hat. You bought it, you own it, and you're looking pretty stupid in it. Trump 2020 ain't going to happen. It didn't happen. It's not going to happen. And whatever you morons are trying to organize, what is it, sometime in March, there's supposed to be some big event going on. There's going to be some more jackasses going to jail. Good luck. Right, Chris?
Yeah, watch the walk. Watch the
walk. Exactly. Right. I mean, come on. Your big mouthpiece, Rush, died. Now there's rumors going around that iHeartMedia may be putting him in the seat to replace Rush Limbaugh. And I think he had about 600 stations carrying his program. That is the only way that this boo-boo the fool is going to get back in the limelight. Or maybe Fox will give him a TV show. Or maybe he'll start his own cable talk network. Who knows? But no question about it. Whatever he does, it's all going to be about him, not about you. The only role that you play, if you are a Trumpster, is you will continue to put yourself in place to be whored or pimped out. Plain and simple. Look at the people that bum rushed the Capitol. 200 plus are in jail. How many of those has he gotten out of jail? How many of those has he hired lawyers for? Okay, so What does that look like? It looks like you are the fool, and you ought to be testifying against him. You should have been on the witness stand at the court case, but in the Senate. I mean, you weren't invited, but that to me, and I think that's where maybe the Democrats fail. They put on a good argument. There's no question about that. But I would have had some witnesses up there. I would have had some of the people that maybe had been arrested and to testify, say, hey, I was doing what the president said. They've said it publicly. It's on film. Why not? It's public knowledge. Bring it into the court. Anyway, Dr. Ron, how you doing?
Doing fine, man. I'm enjoying this rant that
you know me.
doing.
That's what I do.
I think you're right on point.
Mm-hmm.
People that are still on Trump team. Yeah, I said his name. Number 45 team, and I think all he is thinking about is himself. And
that's not new.
Yeah, and how he can parlay that into some other foolishness for himself, and that's all.
Primarily money.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. But one thing I do like that could possibly hit him right where he lives is that NAACP $1 billion lawsuit that's knocking on his door right now. Because that's gonna get his attention. Because he can't stand to spend no money. He can't stand it at all.
Yeah.
So the fact
that you know what
after him, I think will get his attention.
I think you're right. And the $250 million that he got these dumbass Trumpsters to donate to him, to the legal fund to fight the loss. Not the win, the loss. Mm-hmm. How much of that did he put into legal funds? 10 million? 30 million? Maybe 50 million. Let's go high. So where's the other 200 million? Now, in the disclaimer, the funds was going more or less directly to him. He can do whatever he wants with the money. So if he decides to put that money into some other venture or for his real legal defense on these 60, 70 other cases now mounted up against him. Mm-hmm. That's where he's going to need some money. Plus, he needs $421 million for the debt that's coming due over the next couple of years.
Yep.
So he's sandbagging and pimping the public and asking for money directly or indirectly, but it's all funneling back to him. So y'all, please wake up and smell the coffee. Stop being boo-boo the fool. If you want to, say, okay, yeah, I believe what he said. Okay, fine, but don't send him no money. Don't do that. That's like getting one of these telemarketing calls, and they're going to make all these wild-ass promises, and I get 4 or 5 of them a week. And sometimes the same dumbass after you tell them, don't call me no more. Take me off your list. I bet you I've got 150 to 175 blocked numbers. The same people calling up from a different number. Block that one. It's nuts. I've got a Florida cell phone number. So Florida is a hotbed, Arizona, Florida, and other beds where, senior citizens live. They're pimping you. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did to you. He pimped you. He's a media whore, a media pimp. He pimps the media to get the attention that he needs to stick his hand in your back pocket. So stop it, people. I love America. I love you, even though you may have voted for him. I still love you because you're a human being, and I don't want to see you get suckered. I don't want to see you go through the anguish. Maybe, $15, $20, $100 may not break you, but it's money that it would be better spent on something that's going to help you or your family. This guy is not down for you.
He's not.
How has your life changed over the last 4 years? Ask that question to yourself. Now, if you want to call in, you can do that. If you want to join us in our discussion, you can do that. I welcome that. Not a problem. Not a problem. So that's how we roll.
You gonna give them a phone number so they can call in?
Yeah. 954-668-4325. 954-668-4325. You want to call in? You want to voice your opinion? You think I'm wrong? I'll listen.
Even if they think you're right.
If you think I'm right, you can come in and say, hey, man, Lee, and we can move on.
There you go.
You see, I think that certain people want to be pimped. You can have the pimp and the person who wants to be pimped. See, those are the people who follow Trump blindly.
Yeah.
When I was about 8 years old, my Uncle Sylvester and my dad were about to make a run. And so during this time, my Uncle Sylvester had 3 ladies, this is summertime, cleaning up around the house. And so my Uncle Sylvester said, this is my nephew Christopher, gonna make a run with my brother. We'll be back an hour. Wherever he wants, give it to him. And one lady says to him, okay, daddy. And I said, she's not my cousin. So I didn't know what the game was going on until I got older. So certain people want to be pimped, and this is what these Trumpsters are doing because they understand that that is their leader. And no matter what he says, it's going to happen. They don't question it. As you saw the footage when they were having the impeachment trial, this is our house. This is our capital. This is our place. He told us to come here. So when you hear rhetoric like that, it seems to be not even questioned. Not even questioning authority, just the fact he told you. And then he lied to you, and you're still okay with it. I'm going to march with you to the Capitol. Lied. But they're still okay with it. Why? Because of blind faith, and they believe in him wholeheartedly. This is what you get. I have no compassion for them whatsoever. It's just that when it's dangerous, when we saw it unfold, and then we see this whole thing might be coming up, like you said before in March, another surprise. They have been planning this for a long time. Let's go back to the Capitol March in Michigan. That was like, a dress rehearsal to the Capitol that happened on January 6th. What we're looking at is these elements of taking over the government, whether it's local or national. That's why they told us to be careful during this time because our capitals, depending on who you are, what state you live in, could be taken over as well or the attempt to. So civil war is definitely upon us. We have to be vigilant of what's going on and diligent because nobody's going to do it for us. I mean, talk about people who carry guns and conceal and carry. I didn't used to be for it, but I'm down with it now because people are on the rise. These Trumpsters, these acolytes of Trump, they'll do anything to you as long as Trump tells them to do it, and they'll do it effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that people are not waking up fast enough, I think. I think there's a evolutionary process involved. I listen every day to people talking about there's 2 White Houses now. There's one in Florida and then there's one in DC. And, to hear these people still trying to stand on the fact that Trump is the president. So what they're trying to imply that there is 2 presidents in the United States at the current time. And they are willing to take up arms, and follow behind Q anonymous reports, whatever they can come up with to keep adding gasoline onto the controversy that exists, in the minds of these people. And I think what's going to happen is, and I don't know how many of them is going to have to get killed when they try to, go attack again. Because I think the next time around they're gonna start popping them like popcorn. Okay, enough of them get popped off, they're gonna start giving it up because they ain't ready to shed no blood for a cause. Okay, they just want to hoop and holler and break windows and exercise their white privilege. But I think that if enough of them start getting popped, I think their religion gonna change. You know,
You think they're that stupid to come out and do it again?
of course, hell yeah. You know, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I don't even hesitate. How stupid are they? Stupid
That's
enough to
pretty
do that dumb
dangerous.
shit again. You know,
That's pretty dangerous.
man, look, there's people now out there trying to figure out where we're gonna meet up at. You know, where we're gonna do this at. Proud Boys, you know, QAnons, all of these groups that thrived over the last 4 years. Okay. They're definitely looking for the next opportunity. Well, you know, and in their mind, now catch this, because this is the clinch right here. In their mind, because of white privilege, they will say to one another, they're not going to shoot us, you know, and because they got away with it the first time without getting popped, they're gonna do it again. Oh yeah, they're not going to shoot us. We can do this again, and that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
Well,
I think the outcome will be quite different. You got to understand, some of those cops got their asses handed to them.
Yes, but think
100
about
plus injured. What? 2 died.
Think about it, bro.
Oh, I
They
am.
did it in Michigan. They stormed the Capitol in Michigan.
Yep.
With armed, loaded weapons.
Yep.
Okay. And they were like, hey, man, we can do this. We can show up at all these places and not have to worry about getting popped. Okay. You know, and for those people that don't know what pop means, get shot. Okay. But then they showed up in DC. One person got killed. Okay. Only one. Okay. Those are good numbers as far as, you know, law of averages for a civil unrest. You know, now they've rounded up hundreds of them and put them in jail, you know, but only one has gotten killed in the DC insurrection. Okay. So they ain't scared. You know, white privilege in their mind is like, oh, we can rally and tear up some shit and not even have to worry about getting killed. Okay. So will they do it again? Hell yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say they're not going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my bet. And maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking that they're saying, yeah, that was pretty stupid, man. What the hell were we thinking? You think you can truly overthrow the freaking government?
Yes, if you're stupid.
You got some tanks and some landmines and some Sidewinder missiles and some AK-47s and 50 caliber, you know, rapid fire guns. Y'all got that?
Uh-huh.
If you ain't coming to the party with that kind of artillery, keep your dumb ass home because you ain't going to win. You're not going to win. Even if you've got your mindset infiltrated in some of the military and some of the police, not all of them. It's going to be your ass or mine. Which one is it going to be? If
Right.
I'm sitting there as a cop and you're going to bum rush where I'm standing and I might get killed, it's about me against you and you against me. Guess what? You're going down, son. You're going down. So common sense has got to kick in at some point. I'm not advocating war. I'm not advocating people getting hurt. I'm advocating don't be stupid. Don't fight that battle because you ain't going to win. It's a no-win situation. Don't do that. Just, you can be angry. You can be disappointed of the outcome of the election. All good and well. But you lost. Suck it up. Put your big boy draws on and move on with your life. It's time to move on.
Big boy draws, bro.
Big boy. Big boy.
Okay.
Big
All
boy
right.
draws.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a
Grow up.
mentality. Yeah, but it's a mentality that people have, and you can't fix stupid. And people who are unintelligent, if you tell them, look, I hate to tell you this, but I think the cheese slid off your cracker years ago. And they're not going to admit to it. Who's going to admit that they're stupid? So obviously it's a shock to the system. Not only that, for example, when I do my show Baseline, there's a guy out of Texas who comes on every now and again. And he put on his status about a couple of weeks ago that he was not going to follow President Biden. He doesn't want to follow the ramblings of an old man. But your former president was rambling and he's old man. So again, it depends on who you view as your leader, despite having all these frailties and imperfections. Because all they want to see and hear is what they want to see and hear. And as you know, common sense ain't common because it's not. But if you can't get onto the basic level of human beings and decency and what's right and what's wrong, but race divides us, obviously. Party, when it comes to the Democrats, Republicans, that divides us. So more the division, the more the control.
Yeah.
And so whether it's 45 or people around that surround 45, I don't think it's that smart to pull it off. But I think because the people around him know, his think tank people know how to push him and know what buttons to push. This is where he is. Now, I mentioned earlier about the death of conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh paved the way for 45. The loud mouth, the rhetoric, the racist tones, it just put it out there. It's not behind the closed doors anymore. It's in people's faces. So what Rush did all these years was to give birth to a 45, to a Trump, which was why that was able to galvanize, because he was able to have those people who copycatted him or benefit from his career, your Sean Hannity's and your Mark Levin's and Laura Ingrams and Tucker Carlson alike, because they were able to take that same lightning rod of spewing hatred, of, just as even going back to when Barack Obama was in office, he's going to call me Rush Limbaugh, Barack the Magic Negro. So it never ends. But if you subscribe to that, if that's your philosophy, if you're able to glean to that and don't see what's wrong, then these stupid people, knuckleheads, even if you're not stupid, you believe what you hear, that's going to definitely get into your mindset to believe that, hey, that person's right.
And, people believe based on the information they consume. All I'm saying to you is be careful. And just because somebody said X, Y, Z, fact check that. Don't just consume bad information. Don't consume what I'm telling you. Fact check me. Okay, if I tell you don't believe what Sean Hannity is saying and hear the reasons why, and he has a hidden agenda that is easy for him to manipulate your thinking. He tells you what he wants you to do, tells you what he wants you to believe, and if you just consume that blindly, guess what? You're going to be a sheep. You will follow his advice, his words, into the darkness of hell, because he doesn't care about your well-being. He has a political agenda that he's trying to capitalize off to butter his bread, to build his equity and his empire, his brand, his money, fooling you. So don't be that fool. That's all I'm saying. Check it out. Just because they're saying it on Fox or what is that, ONN or whatever it is, and OAN and News Now and all those right-wing nutball whack job publications, broadcast entities, just because they're saying it and it sounds convincing, they can come up with a great argument, a great story, and it sounds believable. But all I'm saying is, don't consume that. Swallow the pill until you've checked it out.
Now I got to add to that. Not just for himself, but also for his dysfunctional children as well. Okay? Because he definitely thinks that they are going to be the next generation of political superheroes. Okay.
No question that was the long range plan.
Yeah.
Because he's getting up in age. I mean, I wouldn't even want to see him. Listen, Biden is older than Trump. Okay. Now, if Biden has a good 4-year run, will he run again? I don't know. I don't know if he want to run again. What will he be? 82?
Yes, I think he's gonna do it.
Well, if he's mentally and physically capable of doing it, then go for it.
Man, he's been waiting on.
I don't want to discriminate.
All
Well, that's
his political career to become president. And
this is third time around.
Yeah. Did you all see the town hall meeting a couple of nights ago?
I did.
He actually likes sleeping in the new bedroom that he's in. He made a joke about it. He was like, I looked over at my wife and said, where the hell are we?
Yeah, so, I'm sure the realization is just kicking in. It's like, damn, here we are in the White House. Look, and what I thought was funny and interesting is he said I had never been up there before.
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean that Barack and you didn't sit around in Barack's living room and kick it with your feet up on the coffee table and having a beer and smoke a cigar and watching the football game.
In the Oval Office, always. He said,
but that's probably presidential protocol, though.
Yeah,
it's probably. I'm sure the people that run the White House say, Mr. President, this is your sanctuary, and you don't invite people up here because it'd be a little hard for us to protect you. You never know.
Yeah. Now think about it. Michelle from the south side of Chicago. I don't give a damn what the hell y'all do upstairs, but y'all better not bring that bullshit down here, okay?
Exactly. That's right. But I mean, it wasn't just Barack. He said in all the years that he's been to the White House under 7 different presidents, he's never been up in the presidential sanctuary, if you will, area. I don't guess anybody goes up there.
No, yeah. Look, you all, we are at that point where I get to say these magic words. You are listening to the Street News Now broadcast that we do each and every Thursday. We hanging out trying to give y'all our opinion and the latest news on what we talk about each and every week. And this Street News Now is a creation of the warped mind of the legend himself, Mr. Lee Michaels. And I tell you, it has turned out to be a wonderful experience. We also have my brother in broadcasting, Mr. Chris Bass. Missing from this opportunity tonight is my other brother in broadcasting, the professor. He's not here tonight. As Chris would say, he's on assignment, so we're going to make him on assignment tonight. And then myself. And I tell you, boy, we got all of this conversation for y'all on tonight and each and every Thursday night. So spread the word, tell somebody. We're on every social media platform out there.
Like, share, and subscribe right now.
Yes,
hit the button, share it right now.
Yes, and call in. We got numbers out there, 954-668-4325. And you can call in and tell each and every one of us how crazy we are. We love to hear from you. So right now we're going to throw it to my brother in broadcasting, Mr. Chris Bass, the boom shakalaka. And I know he's got a story that he's ready to tell us about on today. All you, Chris.
Oh, well, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. Thank you. So there's a story that I was sitting on for the past couple of weeks. And if you don't know who Tom Flores is, I want you to find out who this person is. Tom Flores. Tom Flores was definitely a game changer in the 70s. Here's a guy who's the first Latino quarterback for the Oakland Raiders when they were part of the American Football League. Mr. Tom Flores also was assistant coach for the Raiders. He became also head coach when he became the Oakland/LA Raiders at one point. The son of Mexican field workers. And this man's track record is incredible. But during this time, was not even in the same name to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. And here's a man who put in hard work, a person of color, many first in his categories of what he accomplished. And social media a lot to do with it because as recently as like a couple of days ago, social media for a long time, and he's been out of the league since I want to say maybe 30 years, 33 years plus. At the last time he was a part of the NFL Super Bowl, which he had also won, was not even mentioned in contention for various classes until yesterday. I'm proud to say that Tom Flores, at 78 years old, will be a part of the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2021.
All right now.
And so, but look how far it had taken. And once again, here's a man, again, next to only Mike Ditka, the only person to win a Super Bowl as a player, as assistant coach, as a head coach. That feat has not been done. Only two men, once again, Mike Ditka and Tom Flores. Mike Ditka been in Hall of Fame, for years now. But here's Tom Flores, just now got the nod yesterday. My congratulations go out to him and his family when you get that call. That guy, I know the guy's name, knock on your door and says, hey, we want you to come to Canton to become a part of the Super Bowl class of in this situation in 2021. There are a lot of firsts a lot of people we're not familiar with because of the fact that history buries them on purpose. And here's, once again, he's documented. I went back to some of his, watched some of his old stuff. Dude was lights out, 6'1", tight, build, QB. And again, you talk about the 70s. Well, here's the thing you say about the Oakland Raiders organization, then and now. They always went against the grain. They always bucked the system because they were like renegades within the system. And when you make moves like that to take a Latino quarterback, a quarterback like this, a quarterback who happens to be Latino, and put him in charge and have effective wins, and then to rise, become an assistant coach and the head coach for the organization and beyond, that takes a lot of guts because people of color, as you know, we don't get our shine. Mm-hmm. And I got to thank once again social media for sticking up for this man, because what if social media didn't exist? We'd still be blind to the fact we wouldn't know who this man is. So big up to social media, for Twitter, and everybody else been campaigning for this man. And again, congratulations to him because, again, I didn't know who he was until I just come across some articles on ESPN and went back to some of his tapes on, the ESPN programs and on YouTube. Man was fantastic, and he deserves to be there.
I agree. Yeah, and I had forgotten about it. I knew who he was, but I've forgotten. Time will make you forget stuff because he hasn't really been in the media, getting some major coverage to remind you of his accomplishments. I mean, it's not like he got a shot to be a sports commentator on one of the networks. So like some of the other former players. So it was out of sight, out of mind. But I'm happy as well to see him to finally get at least acknowledged. I mean, he did a wonderful job, better than most.
Yes.
Now let me ask this question.
Him and Mike are in a special club.
Yeah. Let me ask this question, because normally when things like that happen, who did he piss off in the sports political world that they overlooked him as long as they did? Did they say anything about, any of his battles that he had to go through while he was, still active in the NFL? Because, let me say this before you say that. You all know for a fact that the NFL is one of the racist organizations in the whole United States of America. I hope y'all know that, right? And if you don't know, you heard me say it now. Going back for decades, they have been known as a very racist organization. So after saying that, I go back to the original question. Do they say anything about the battles that he had with the NFL organization in general?
Well, the articles I've read, Dr. Ron, had nothing to do with pissing people off to the height of passivity or things of that nature. It pretty much was a stock and trade of his background, of what he meant to football and the Raiders organization from that perspective. Don't get me wrong, you're absolutely correct. When it comes to racism in sports, that's nothing new. But unfortunately, when you are the shield, quote unquote, for NFL, the horror stories continue to run down the stream of racism, of neglect. And not only that, you want to throw in the racist part. I mean, as you know firsthand, people follow football. The NFL was against Al Davis, the owner of the Raiders, period. So no matter what you were associated with Al Davis with, you didn't get the shine. You get the acknowledgement because the organization is always commitment to excellence, and we follow our own rules pretty much. And you throw that into the fact that you are Latino, and not only that, once again, you have the coveted position of playing the leader, the quarterback position, and it's not like you can't do the job. You do the job very effectively to the point where your football mind skill set rose you into management. You became assistant coach. You became a head coach, and the things of that nature. So I always think it's going to be some sort of pushback regardless. But the fact that you can push back all you want to, right is right. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's going into Canton in 2021 says a whole journey that should have been happening a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned. And like Lee said, he kind of like outside of the mind because he didn't get like one of those broadcasting jobs in the booth. But now that social media has always done what I think is the right thing to do, to champion causes like this one here is fantastic.
Yeah. I think, you brought up a good point that, the owner of the team, you're right. He was not well liked. He was a renegade or a maverick. He was doing stuff that the other teams were not. But he was winning. Mm-hmm. So do you think maybe that's part of it? And maybe you think Al lobbied on his behalf? And what is the selection process for getting the nod to go into the NFL Hall of Fame? What is that voting process? Who's involved?
Those are mostly sports writers who get involved, the ones who are tapped, the ones who are deemed the ones to vote per year, and that can go to anybody. I know it's a select club, select few sports writers who are a part of that. And of course, Al Davis, once again, like you said before, being a maverick, I think from what I've read and what I've seen in footage, because of Al Davis and who he was, if he would have won the NFL way, if that makes sense, not his way, the NFL way, maybe a little more, sexier than your average team. There were blood and guts. They left all their emotion on the field. Not saying other team did, but them more so because of their renegade attitude. And I think as a product, the NFL, the Shield, okay, it's like that child that you don't really want to acknowledge, but the child puts in work, and the child is your child. You have to acknowledge who that child is. And they had their druthers clean up, blow your nose, put on this suit, do as I tell you to do, and form in line and get in line. But because he did not, as Al Davis in the organization, that could bode a problem for the Shield. And I think that's going back and forth. And to be associated with that, it's almost like guilt by association, by fire. And sometimes that happens. So I would say that had Alf, well, put it like this, I mean, being Tom Flores, if he was a part of a team, and so going back to what you said, Dr. Brown, the Shield, being racist, he still wouldn't have got any type of acknowledgement. Mm-hmm. But I think more so because the Raiders were anti-NFL, if you get my drift, then that made a difference as well.
Yeah. I see in the comments, Dave Johnson said he pissed off Jimmy the Greek. That'll do it.
Oh shit! Jimmy the Greek is to piss off Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah, he's taking a dirt bath. So I mean, does he still have a vote?
Right.
No, I think just during his history,
Yeah.
But and like you said, the Raiders, man, they took a chance on a lot of people. I remember when they took Vince Evans out of Chicago when he was not doing so well because he wasn't able to call his own plays, and went over there and kicked some ass, man. So
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
What's Vince Evans doing now?
I have no idea, but I do remember he went over to the Raiders, man, and did outstanding. And not just him, but it was other former Bears that went over to the Raiders. So you're right. They would pick up players and do with them because they had an atmosphere for them to prosper. So
Mm-hmm.
I applaud the Flores family for their success and finally getting into the Hall of Fame. So yes, I applaud it totally. You know, better late than never, as one of our people just said on here. That is so awesome.
Yes.
Late, but awesome. Yep. Yeah. So for those that are just tuning in, this is the Street News Now. We are minus one of our brothers, but we're gonna keep it moving. I want to bring up something that I saw this week in the news, and I thought it was quite interesting. I really wanted to bring this conversation up with Reggie being here, but I'm going to bring it out there, throw it out there. We'll revisit it when he's here. They published on this week that there are only 7 black billionaires in the United States. Only 7. You know, and I thought that was, you would think there would be more, but of course,
It is more.
There is more than 7.
Yeah, they forgot me.
Oh, okay. I knew I liked your ugly ass for some reason.
I figure if Donald Trump can lie to people, so can I.
Hey, bro, you ain't lying. You know? But of course, I'm going to run through the names right quick. Welcome, Francisco, to the show. Hello, my brother. You know,
what's up?
Of course, the obvious one everybody knows, Oprah Winfrey, you know, and Tyler Perry. You know, let's see. Let me see. Do we have the numbers here? How many billions she got? Don't see them. They said that she's the top of the list.
Right.
Tyler Perry just made it to $1 billion. We got Sean, Jay-Z. He just made $1 billion. We got a name that probably I would have never guessed to be on this list. Kanye West with
fake news,
$3 billion. You know, of course, you expect Michael Jordan to be on there with $1.6 billion.
All right, now.
You know, okay, they do have Oprah at $2.5 billion. Okay, and then they have David Stewart at $3.7 billion. And
he should be at the top.
Yeah, I'm going down the list, so they have him listed.
Okay, not in order.
They want to put him in. Robert F. Smith at $5.2 billion. He's the richest, so he is the top of the list.
He's in the IT or technology field.
Yes. Let's see. No, he was a hedge fund guy. A Cornell graduate and former Goldman Smith executive, Smith built his multi-billion-dollar fortune running private equity firms, Vista Equity Partners.
What's his name again?
Robert F. Smith. Now the
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Call me.
Yeah.
I need about 2.5. That's all I need. I don't need no billion. I need 2.5 to build this new broadcast entity that I want to launch. Call me.
And David Stewart.
I ain't too proud to beg.
Yeah. David Stewart built his fortune running an IT provider for the clients of Citi, Verizon, the federal government, to name some of his clients. So, these guys have made billions of dollars. Only 7 of them. You know.
Wow.
And
did you mention Puffy?
Yeah, he's a billionaire too. I mentioned him earlier and then I also mentioned Tiger Woods, but I don't see him on this list.
Okay.
Tiger Woods made $1 billion with all of his advertisement endorsements as well. So there was a list of almost billionaires, and then there was the list of actual for sure billionaires.
Nice. Well, congratulations to some of the wealthiest people of color in this country. And, you know, to me, that should be inspiration to all of us to inspire and work a little bit harder and grow. You know, it's not impossible.
So working a little bit harder is going to make you a millionaire or a billionaire?
I'm not going to stop till the clock stops. You know what I mean? And let me just say this: among the four gentlemen here on the show right now, I would like to solicit any advertiser that would need an endorsement or someone to be a brand manager, and you would be willing to pay them. Chris Bass is willing to, no matter what your product or service is, he will be the voice of your product or service. Pimping, condoms.
I can see Chris now with that monologue about Trojan man.
yeah, you'd be a great Trojan man. You know, riding in a white horse or Trojan man. You could do that, could you, Chris? If they're going to give you $5 million to be the Trojan man, would you do it?
Hello, I'm Chris Bass, and let me tell you about Trojan condoms.
I just want to be the agent, so I get my 20%.
I'll take that check. Okay? Hey.
No, but seriously, folks, I mean, it's time for us to start thinking differently, and dream bigger. You know, don't be afraid to ask for the moon, because somebody might say, "Okay, it's happened in my life when I didn't think it was possible for me to make millions of dollars doing radio, something I would do for almost for nothing, but it happened because I asked for it." And because it was the right time. I was hot as, anybody in the country at that point. But it's all about timing and standing up for what you have worked hard for, and you believe in yourself, and you can do the job. Then you should be paid as much as you think you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody down your value.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
That's where it should go.
Yeah, that was your inspirational moment for this week.
Call the radio coach if you need an agent.
There you go.
I got to hook up with the Trojan people. Okay, so
there you go. Now, somebody asked about Byron Allen in the comments. He is not listed as a billionaire. Now, he did have a $20 billion lawsuit that he settled out of court, but he is not listed.
Yeah.
The lawsuit was filed for $20 billion back in 2015, because I did bring him up as my notes. But, just speaking about coming down from the billionaires, there are so many millionaires in this country.
Yeah.
Okay. They cannot be overlooked as well, because if you think of all of the people that are in professional sports, entertainers, these guys are walking around with deep pockets because they get the endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
So they're walking around with millions, plural, of dollars, that they have accumulated over time. And to me, I think it's opportunities. When you think of some of these young guys that are in the sports industry or whatever profession, IT, whatever they came up with to put them in the $1 million categories, they're opportunities because they acquired their wealth, and it should be an opportunity for them to help others acquire wealth. And that's the way I look at that. So like, Leah's saying, if you want to get into this business, reach out to him and he'll get you an opportunity to find out where you can find Trojans at. But that will help further, what he is doing, and it can help further you in what you're doing. So basically what I'm saying is, if the young people or the millionaires reach out and grab a handful of folks, and help pull them up, into some of their, communities of funds, then it's more to go around. We can accomplish more. So I would like to think that these millionaires, and I can't say a few that, I've heard of stories, like LeBron James, and they're doing, funds in their communities in Cleveland where he had a fondness for. I applaud Oprah. She's got a whole school, that she supports, on the continent of Africa, and many of them, like Tyler Perry, he is doing his part. He created a whole, facility. Now they're only doing his projects at the moment, but his whole facility is there, to help further the endeavors of people, that of our skin color. So I like that, that some people are getting it. They got it, and they will reach out and help and do things for other people. And that's a beautiful thing, because we need to each one reach one. We need to reach more than one if you got the pockets to stand it, because I'm easily to write off on your taxes. And my plug coming in now, I am a very good person to put on your taxes. Okay.
As a liability or an asset?
It makes no difference. Whatever you need to write me off as, I can be written off. Okay. Dr. Ron. The address is on the bottom down here. www. I can be you, because you're gonna need some write-offs, okay? You're gonna need some wins and some losses. I had a tax lady on my show a couple of weeks ago. I know you're gonna need some wins and some losses, so you can write me off. I'm easy to write off. I got no problem with that.
That's a strong tagline. Hey, what's going on?
How you doing,
on, Francisco? Hey, man, welcome to the show, brother.
Rumors in the house.
There we go. Look at it. He's got some merch.
You're working on it. Working on
a whole billboard over there. Go ahead on, brother.
Listen, let me just say this real quick, and then you can have the rest of the time.
Sure.
I'm for promoting and helping anybody that's trying to do something. Francisco came on a few weeks ago as a guest, and as far as I'm concerned, he's becoming a part of the family.
Oh, wow.
But he's trying to build something himself. And I've already said, our airways is your airways. Something you want to market and promote, have at it. Because if we don't help each other, shame on us.
Amen.
So I see got some merch on it. Is that for sale?
Not yet. I'm coming up with a couple of designs. I ordered a couple for myself first, and we're starting there. But soon they will be available.
If nobody throws eggs at you, then you probably can sell.
That's right. Well, first of all, thank you so much. I mean, this, as I've said many times before, I love this platform. Watching distinguished gentlemen speak about things intelligently, it's something that's missing in most of broadcasting right now. And the fact that, when you look at us and you see that we are all Black and brown people, and we all belong under one umbrella, helping each other out, like you said, it's an important thing. We're all different shades, but hey, we're all on the same team, right? But speaking to what you said earlier about dreaming, that really resonated with me because I'm doing something that's outrageous. Starting a podcast on paper for me makes absolutely no sense in terms of my history. But if you're going to dream big. And so I'm just going for it. And whatever happens, happens. But I can tell you right now, my success is not going to be measured by if I make money or not at this. I already feel successful just by having the willingness and the courage to attempt it. And then, look at what's happened just by jumping into the game. I mean, I'm on this amazing show with you guys. I've been listening to all the programming that you guys are doing and participating where I can. And it's been phenomenal. And no matter what happens with my program, nobody will ever be able to take that away from me. And I'm really excited about it.
Well, congratulations, my brother.
Thank you.
Hey, man. Yeah, a success story. Not in the making, but a success story in existence. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I truly feel that way. Because I have, like all of us, we've got our wins and losses, right? And if you define yourself by your losses, you're making a mistake. I've failed at more things than a lot of people have ever attempted. And I'm okay with that because the people I met along the way, the things I've seen, the things I've done, they're priceless to me. And I've got great stories. It makes me fun at parties, so I'm, you know what I mean? Like, I can't really complain at all. I don't look at my past quote unquote failures as real failures. The only time I'm
as a step up, because you're
absolutely
here.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's I think who said it? An ancient proverb is not, our man's greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time he falls. And that's how I feel about my life. I just keep going. And like I said, and when you talk about dreams, it's so important. I used to volunteer to teach entrepreneurs in this organization, and one of the things I told them is, don't let your past experience limit what you think is possible. That's why I'm in podcasting right now. There is nothing in my past experience that suggests that I should be doing this, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that it's a passion of mine. I'm having a phenomenal time doing it, and all aspects of it, the editing and the this and the that and the lighting and the trying to figure out equipment and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm having a blast. I had a phenomenal conversation with Dr. Ron. Where we discovered that we were probably separated at birth.
No.
Good, bad, or indifferent. He and I are a lot alike, let me tell you.
Oh man, thank you.
Francisco, you were doing a fantastic job until you said that you're probably connected to that guy over there. Oh my God!
Hey,
Holy
man.
smokes and Jesus!
Hey man, look, and let me say this: I had the pleasure of listening to Francisco's podcast on last week, and I immediately called him, and he hadn't even woken up yet. But I said, anybody that can get two women from Australia to talk about how low down men are, I love. I tell you, boy, he had these two women from Australia, not one, but two women from Australia talking about how low down men are. Okay, I'm like, this dude is my hero. And he was juggling. I'm like, he had it going on, boy.
That's the talent he didn't know he had. And when you mentioned a few minutes ago that he never dreamed of doing a podcast, but see, there was something that you had in your DNA, in your personality, that, I mean, most people who are doing podcasts today, and those that are really successful at it, they didn't know that they would be good at it 15 years ago.
Right.
But you're a storyteller. You've got stuff you can talk about. You know how to naturally bridge it from one thing to another. And so that's what makes you unique in regards to doing podcasts. Before we go on here, we're going to go a little bit longer tonight, so don't panic. We got a caller here. Welcome to the show. It's Apollo. How you doing?
Man, I booked a suite. We're gonna have a pool party on the rooftop at the Cecil Hotel down there in Los Angeles, and we gonna get it in.
Well, you're going to be the only one there because we're all not in L.A.
Well, I got an open date.
Okay.
We got the pool on the roof.
Well, let me tell people who you are. Those that don't know, Apollo is a friend, a friend, and used to come on with us when we were doing a show over at the Power of Voices. And he's a little twisted, but he has brings some truth into his insanity. So welcome to the show. This is the first time in.
I was trained by Chris Bates, and he ordained me totally insane. So I this broadcast has the seal of approval from the Boom Chakalaka Association.
That's right.
Thanks.
Oh man,
you see what I'm saying?
Apollo, how you doing, brother?
There he is. There go them. Hey, in the words of the late great Doug Banks, can somebody get him a wheelbarrow to get those things out of here, please?
Oh wow, yes he did. I remember him saying that.
When he had Barry White on the air, he said, "Sure, you're right." He said, "Hey, induction. Hey, can someone get him a wheelbarrow to get those things out of here, please? What's up, gentlemen? I don't even know who the hell I'm talking to. I'm talking. I'm on the Telos on the new the new Lee Michaels broadcast facility
yes,
board.
Yeah, that's right. You're on the Roadcaster Pro.
It's much better than that Section 8 board you had in L.A. when you had Carol in there. It never did work half the time. You bought that from Stevie Wonder. You bought that from Crenshaw down there from Stevie Station, didn't you?
No, I came from the Netherlands. It was an import.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Instructions was in Dutch.
That's right. Yeah. I turned it upside down and it still didn't make sense.
Hey, man, let me say this. I'm going to let y'all fit because I can't. I interrupted your show, but Corey is an absolutely cool young brother.
Thank you.
I enjoyed hanging with him. I sent you a video, and when you get off the air, you can go to your YouTube. I gave you a quick tour of the outside of the old WGIV studios there.
Man. And
I sent you a video of what we could get right before it got dark, and then these crackers ran me off the property. So I had to... And my white skin didn't even work because, hell, I had Corey with me. So they like, he looks like he might be one of us, hell, but I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, he's half white. He's a Barack Obama.
Yeah. But I'm like, let me get out of here. I'm his probation officer. I just brought him down here. We looking to get him work.
You see how white people, they'll throw you under the bus.
Yeah, you're right.
That's that white privilege.
I'm his parole officer. We just trying to find him a job. That's all. Shit. Ain't about letting him loose. She got an ankle monitor on. Hell.
Boy, you're a trip.
Y'all have a good night, fellas.
All right, go take care of my nephew and shut up, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. He's going to get that in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to go get him right.
Okay. Right. Bye-bye.
Take care, brother.
Thanks for calling in.
Oh my God! And that is an insane guy right there. But
that's a stone.
He speaks the truth. He gets thrown into Facebook jail at least once every other month.
Every other month. Yeah, they know him by his first name in Facebook jail. Right?
Yeah, and the fact that he give Chris credit for breaking him in.
Yeah, right.
Oh man,
I don't know if you want to take credit for that one.
I'll take credit for that one. I didn't like his ass in the beginning.
Right. No, he's a cool guy. He's
cool now. No, in the beginning, I don't want to fuck with that motherfucker. No, not at all.
Now, see that now y'all understand why I sent the link to him anyway. There he is.
Hey.
Yeah. All right.
Real quick, but let me clean it up. I love Apollo. We had a great conversation during that time working with Lee and Carol back, when Lee was in LA. We had a conversation over the phone. We went back and forth, cleaned it up. I love him to death. He's a fantastic individual. He really is.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. He just had a son about 3 months ago.
Congratulations to him.
Don't nothing like him. Look more like you.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Ron, how'd you do that?
Look, where does he live at? Lee?
He's down in North Carolina.
When was the last time you was in North Carolina, Chris?
I think he sent that one in.
I
don't know what y'all talking about, man. Whoa, it's getting late.
The overnight balloon express, huh?
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck y'all talking about. I just know it's getting late, and it's past my bedtime.
What did y'all? I was in the meeting. What did y'all say about the last president?
Everything.
Yeah, man, we ain't going back there. Look, we did have a topic that's right up your alley. So next week you got to come on time so we can help you out.
I just fixed up my meeting so that meeting starts at 7, so I can be through, and it's only an hour, so I can come right in. They started. I didn't think about that until then, but then boom, shakalaka. Taking your word, Chris. I went on and I boom shakalaka. As soon as the meeting was over, pew,
There you did.
Yep. Bust the move.
I had to come on in here and do what we do. So y'all talked about the man, huh?
Well, we actually, I did my dialogue kind of thing, and basically I was speaking to the people more than him. I was trying to get them to understand that they've been hoodwinked, lied to, pimped out, whored out. All he wanted was his hand in their back pockets. He made $250 million off of donations, claiming to fund his legal defense fund, more or less, against losing the election. So it was all, a pimp game. There's no way in the world it was going to be overturned. As gangster as he think he is, it just was impossible because you can't gangster and kill the truth. So that was my pitch tonight to all of those Trumpsters out there. Understand that this man did not have your best interest, and he thought that he could continue to brainwash you and so that you could carry his water so that he could advance his own personal thing, and that's to make more money because he's in desperate need for it. All the lawsuits he's got against him now, and the money that's coming due in a couple of years is $421 million.
Whoa.
So he's scared. He's scared to death, and he will say and do anything. And he might be the replacement host for the Rush Limbaugh show. I wouldn't be surprised.
Did you all talk about Jesus? I mean, Rush.
Yeah, we mentioned that he dropped the mic.
Man, oh man, I talked to Dr. Ron yesterday, and I said, Dr. Ron, did Jesus die? What's happening, man? Did the president die? I mean, every 5 minutes it was like, oh, he did it. Oh. I mean, I was like, I had pain just listening to this stuff, but I had to take myself through it. So,
it was a conversation piece, and that.
I couldn't take it. I wasn't gonna watch Hannity. I did not watch it after what's that boy name before Hannity?
Tucker.
Yeah, that sucker. When he got to it, man, I turned it off, man. And this, and then listen, I love their spin, right? I love the spin where they just say, this dude was a dropout and he did this, that, and the other, and he became this, that, and the other. And I said to myself, well, let me get some people that believed in deregulation to support me like that. I would be this dude had 1,000,001 outlets. As long as
600 affiliates.
Yeah, as long as he was saying that the Dems was bad, and shoot, there was a lot of Rupert Murdochs out there, and they funded this dude. He got paid $85 million. He was making. It was like he was making $1 off of everybody every year. Just get $1 to Rush, and they was paying him out like that. And so, but if you stack the deck and let me have a deck, or anybody have a deck like that, they could do anything. Man, come on, man. And this dude was Ronnie Reagan's his mouthpiece right off from the jump, man.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
We
gotta understand when you've got a guy like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, and 2 or 3 others, they control and have access to a lot of ears. And indirectly, there are corporate companies that will support those broadcasts as long as they don't go over the line. Like the Koch brothers industries, they own just about every damn thing you can think of, from toilet paper to who knows what else, plastic ware. And anyway, they own a lot of stuff. And now they're buying a building here in Las Vegas that's been sitting dormant, more or less, hasn't even been finished in terms of construction. Now they've purchased that. It's a big blue glass building here in Las Vegas, and I don't know what they're going to do with it, a hotel or something. But these are the kind of people that support those guys. Mm-hmm. The reason that the Democratic type programming has never worked is because the money wasn't there to support it. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for George Soros, who started Broadcast America or something? Not Broadcast America.
Air America.
Air America.
Yeah.
He funded that. Okay. Now, where did Air America go wrong? They hired too many goddamn comedians. Okay. Mm. They didn't hire broadcasters. Mm. Okay. So you got to have people that understand how to serve it up. Mm-hmm. And you can't hire a producer or director, an editor to teach someone where it's not in their blood. Okay. Somebody like Francisco never thought about it, but he had it in his blood and he has a passion for it now. So all he needs is the right coach to bring the best out of him. Now, that's not to say that because you're a comedian that you can't become a good talk show host, because it's possible.
I'm glad you said that.
But it's not likely that you're going to have the same kind of results, if you will, if you found a guy who eats, sleeps, loves it, and then you coach him, you're going to have better success. You know, I tried to get corporate broadcast owners to understand that when I'm sitting there in the corporate ballroom, or not ballroom, but the conference room, trying to teach the presidents and the CEOs and the chairmen of the board that, hey guys, don't do that. Don't hire that person. They won't give you but a little bit of success at best. And here are the reasons why. They don't have the passion for it. They're a part-time broadcaster. They're never going to be there when you need them to go out to the affiliates of, syndicated show to do what you need them to do, because they want to go and perform and make the real money. All they want to do is be on the air 5 days a week, pimp out your radio station so that they can continue to make their brand bigger. It's not about you, it's about them. And they're not really interested in being a broadcaster. It's just another marketing tool so they can continue to build their brand. That doesn't make sense to some people that own stuff, that own media.
Now, let me question you on that then. So the Steve Harveys, the Ricky Smileys, that are doing just that, now in syndication all across the country, you're saying that that's not a good formula for success.
It's not good for all. Okay, those are two exceptions to the rule. And Steve Harvey more than Ricky Smiley. Ricky has evolved in being a broadcaster to a certain degree. But if he was a real radio guy, and if I had a chance to work with him, I think I could make him, grow a little bit further. But there is always an exception to the rule. There's a lot of other comedians that have tried it and failed, crash and burn. There's even been some recording artists, a number of them. And they will only go to a certain point because people won't think that this guy who has had 1 or 2 or 3 hits, now a radio personality, why is that?
Anybody can do our job. Don't get me started on that.
But that's the problem. That's the mindset of ownership.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it everybody knows him. He's got good brand, everybody knows his name. But that doesn't mean anything.
Hey, how you doing? What you talking about? Hiring Reggie Miles? No. Get that guy Keith Sweat. Yeah, he's got a couple of records. Reggie Miles, who is that? I've never heard of him.
Give me Reggie Miles, because Reggie is a radio guy. Okay,
no, but Keith Sweat, he's got a couple of records, man. I want her.
Go back in the studio, Keith, and do some more begging records and make your money and drive the women crazy. That's what you do.
I don't feel like begging more. I want to be.
Hey, no disrespect to Keith Sweat. I mean, I didn't
respect it all.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring up any names, but Keith is a nice guy. I've met him before, and I've played all of his music. But if I had to pick between Keith Sweat or Rick Party, hands down. Okay, radio guy. Can get it. He can serve up information. He can be funny. He can jock. Okay, but to teach Keith Sweat or somebody like that how to be a jock, when in his mind might think I'm already a jock. What you talking about?
Yeah.
But it ain't the same kind of jocking we're talking about. You can jock on that stage, but it doesn't translate on the radio. It doesn't. Yeah. People see you differently, hear you differently.
And welcome to the Sweat Run Down My Balls Hotel.
See, look. When you surround a guy with radio people, that's a foot up. And even my dear friend, I love him to death. The fly jock, he knew that he had to build a team around him to do a great morning show. To do it by himself was more of a challenge. He was a smart broadcaster. Okay? Tom Joyner was a broadcaster first, and he built his morning show with people like Shirley Clark, a.k.a. Shirley Strawberry, and there was a comedian in there, and then there was like 2 or 3 other people in there with him. So that made it well-rounded. He became the maestro of the show. He was the conductor. He was the main person, and he was the jock. He could jock. The others didn't have to jock, but he could talk the records up and compliment the comedian and laugh at Shirley, and so they complimented each other. Everybody had a role.
Classically trained from a college radio station, Fisk University. Yeah,
that's right.
So now with that, that created a template, which you think that most syndicated shows try to duplicate over and over and over again.
Yes.
Because every show that's out there now is using that same template.
Yeah, some better than others. And just because you have a successful template doesn't mean that is the only template. And you have to customize the template to fit the personalities that you bring together. So, that's what they miss. But they try to do the same thing, just like the record business. They come out with a Michael Jackson. He hits, he blows up. Then every record label in the industry is looking for the next Michael Jackson or the next Madonna or the next whoever. And then all of a sudden you got 4 or 5 artists out there sounding very close to each other, but they're not original. Mm-hmm. When the audience, the record buyers say, oh yeah, they sound just like Michael Jackson. He's trying to be like Teddy Pendergrass, or he's trying to be like Barry White or whatever. That's a problem. You need to come out with the reason Barry White was successful is because there was no other Barry White.
Right.
Isaac Hayes was right about the same time, but they were different.
I think Isaac was older than.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah, they're both
old.
dead now, so it's
great
loss to the music business. Eric Thrasher, I saw your message there, Eric. It was my pleasure to be on the phone with the other broadcasters with Gerald Austin last night. He premiered his forthcoming album to myself and some of my clients and fellow internet broadcasters. And he's got some good stuff. Gerald Austin, if you don't know, is the lead singer of the Manhattan.
Manhattan, someone like don't come in my lane, Lee. Now you know I don't do that. Man.
The group has been around for 58 years.
Woo!
Yeah, and it's funny to say I remember when they started.
And then he wasn't the first one.
No, I think he came in about 8 years later.
Yeah. It was Ruben. That boy was. Ooh. Oh,
yeah.
God. So now is he doing a solo thing or is he doing a group thing?
More or less, it's still under the name of the Manhattans, but I think he's the only long-lasting member. 2 others died over the past 5 or 6 years. And died pretty close to about the same time.
I think they bass singer. He was the last. Blue.
Yeah, Blue.
Yeah.
Blue and the other guy, I can't remember his name off the top, but they died in a very close period of time.
Wow.
Blue. Last 4 or 5.
Blue was bad.
Yeah, Blue. Yeah, Blue was bad. Real deal.
Yeah. Him and Boxdale and Melvin Franklin.
Yeah. Man, you know what? The Dells. And Chuck, I was closer to Chuck than the rest of the guys. I don't know why. We just kind of hit it off. But
I love that dude, man.
I tried to get these guys to sit down when I was at BMX. And I told them, I said, look, man, once you guys come in, I want to interview you. And let's put the Dells story together. Mm-hmm. Let's, do a syndicated show that we could send it out to all the urban stations around the country and get them to play, like the Motown story. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do the Dells story, to tell that whole 50 years. Well, it's more than 50 years now, but at that time it was getting close to 50 years, and that was 20 years ago. So,
yeah.
But we never were able to put that together. That's one of my biggest broadcast regrets, that because I wanted to sit down in a recording studio and just have that conversation with the Dells, the mighty Dells.
Yeah, and all of them were great guys. For many of people who did not know them, I've had the pleasure to work with them throughout my career. And they're from Harvey, Illinois, south suburbs of Chicagoland area. And they all stayed in the area, south suburban area. They didn't move to Hollywood. Well, they lived in New York a great part of the beginning of their career. But they all came back to Harvey, hung out in Harvey. Great guys, man. You can go on the weekend, and not even on the weekend, any day of the week, and run into a Dale sitting in one of the clubs in the local area. They all had their watering hole that they used to hang out in, you know. So great guys. I mean, personality. You know how some people, they hit it off really big and become, you know, divas, buttholes, you know, stay away from here. I don't sign autographs, you know, I don't talk to civilians. You know, these guys would sit
down to earth,
laugh and joke and crack jokes, talk about your mama, everything. I mean, they was down and dirty, boy. They were, you know, really good guys, you know, and really approachable, you know, very approachable guys. Yep. Yeah. The Dales. And it's only two of them left now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mickey McGill and Vern Ellison is only two left.
Yeah. Mickey is the one that held that long note and stay in my corner.
That was Marvin Jr.
Marvin. That's right.
Marvin Jr. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvin Jr. The at the time, it was the longest recorded note in history. Yep.
And how long was that? How many seconds was it?
I'm going to refer that one to the professor.
I'm gonna have to play it and then time it. You know, all I know it was long.
I think it was close to around 20 to 28 seconds, if I remember correctly. I timed it many years ago because it used to blow my mind every time I hear it, you know?
Yeah, and actually, he held that note longer in a live performance.
Yeah,
probably so.
Than he actually did when he was in the recording.
I hate to break it to you, but that was a sample. He was just going,
not what I saw.
Whatever.
I'm talking about the live version.
I know it was a sample, man.
There's another Lee Michaelism.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
See now. Okay, all right, Chris, you better warn them. They don't know who they're talking to, do they?
Let me tell y'all something real quick.
Hey, you better tell somebody.
I'm gonna tell them real quick. See, here's the thing about Lee you don't know, or maybe you've had a taste of. Lee has two separate personalities. He's a Gemini. He's made that clear to me. When Lee would, at the time, before he started his limo service, I think he was testing the water. So this was back out in LA, and he was doing Uber and Lyft simultaneously. So I called Lee up like a Saturday afternoon, see what the fuck he's doing, right? And all of a sudden I said, "Hey, what's up? Hey, motherfucker!" And I heard this different voice. I thought it was the passenger. It was Lee. Lee would cuss your ass out from morning, noon, and night, all parts in between. Whoever this person cut in front of Lee, this what I call Uber Lee, came out.
Oh my God!
So this whole verse, you don't want to see that motherfucker. I'm just telling you up front. I've heard it from myself. He wasn't cussing me out, not yet. But whoever this person got in front of Lee, the Uber Lee came out. There's a whole different dynamic. To give you fair warning. So when it happens, I didn't nobody look. Somebody warned you, and that was me. Now going on to talk about myself. Fuck it.
Out of respect to Lee being the oldest member on the panel, I'm going to say it was sampled. Okay, I'm just going to concede.
Right, that's right. See, and they don't understand my musical background as well, Chris. They don't understand that I was actually a part of the Temptations back in the day.
Yeah,
right. Lee is the Lost Temptation.
Oh, amen. I got that.
Yeah, no, Lee was the one that.
Who do you think was singing "My Girl"?
Lee.
Okay, cool. I can dig that.
Right.
All right. So I just want I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but That was not David Ruffin. That was me.
Listen, you ain't got to tell me twice. I heard you the first.
And when is your next dose of medicine, Lee?
I'm having it now.
You know, y'all know my famous saying, I don't give a blank.
But the next time you play My Girl, you're going to go, what's that?
Yeah, that's Lee. That's Lee. I'm going to tell my partners. I'm going to get on the mic and I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say WBOE, and that's Lee Michaels with The Temptation. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah.
The Lost Temptation.
Yeah, The Lost Temptation.
And be sure and don't forget to say Uber Lee.
Yeah. You don't have to say that. I mean, that was short. And I just got that, and that was something. And this version that you just heard came from the unpublished archives of Motown. And so yeah, I'm gonna put it out. I know how to put the spin on it and all this.
You're a jock.
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about it.
Man.
See, that's why I would hire you over the hot comedian at that time, because you are a jock. You know how to make it happen.
Yeah,
that's right. And Lee was the one who told me the story. Was when the Temptations were rehearsing, at Motown, and David Ruffin was going over his, sheet music. Hey man, I can't see. And Lee was like, here, take my glasses. So he can see. So he kept Lee's glasses. Every time we see David Ruffin performing, he kept Lee's
glasses. And those famous David Ruffin glasses were mine.
Ooh,
that's right.
Boy.
I love it. I love it, man. I didn't know.
I got that.
Thank you for that, man. I
got that.
Thank you. I anything else you want to share with us? I was always told to never argue with a person in his condition.
It was like one of my first classes, like in ed psychology, psychology, the professor saying, yeah, if somebody's on the train and they come up to you and say, yeah, I hate that Ronald Reagan or something like that, I'm gonna say, well, I hate him too. I'm not gonna disagree. Yeah, that's when you got a point, man, and then I'm gonna move. I'm gonna make my move if I can get away. You understand? Because that could be just a setup, because the cat might be gonna go crazy if you agree with him, because you never know how crazy folk is nowadays. So you always got to have that. Did you all see Chappelle? Did y'all?
I saw a piece of it. I got to go back and.
Oh man, he killed.
He was on the road, huh?
Oh, he killed me. That boy, something else. He talked about his freedom now, right? He got his name back and stuff. He did the Prince thing on Comedy Central. So he he can use his own stuff. But when he did that tirade on the couch, when he argued that the same people that was talking about Colin Kaepernick needed to be they was phony, cause you got people going in the Capitol carrying all kinds of Confederate flags. He said, we in some kind of pickle. Now that boy went absolutely nuts, saying that those people, the hypocrisy that's in America. They want to talk about a peaceful demonstration of what Colin Kaepernick did. You understand? But yet and still, they went and tore up the rotunda of the United States government. And he said even the Confederates. He said the Confederates didn't do that shit. He said it's messed up. And to have that type of hypocrisy, like this boy, what's that boy name in Texas, who lied and said he wasn't getting out of town. He took his daughters to Cancun.
Senator Ted Cruz.
Yeah. I mean, and then them cats, and then none of the stuff that these cats are saying, right? Everybody in Texas, right? They always want to talk about they don't want the federal government, right? But the governor begging now, right? They was always talking that deregulation. They had that deregulated electricity, right? They had only place in Texas that had the government control was El Paso, and they fine. But all the other places that was under that deregulation and stuff like that, they all messed up. But nobody's questioned the value of deregulation right now, or nobody has questioned the fact that that is one of the disadvantages of being in a deregulated, in a society. Because when something go down, who you gonna blame? I mean, they was blaming Joy Reid for it.
But this is a golden opportunity, though, because now that Ted Cruz is out of town, they can finish the wall.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that, Francis. Yeah.
Oh boy! I mean, they was blaming Joy Reid. they was looking for straws everywhere. I mean, they put Joy Reid on TV 3-4 times. That's all. They went at her. What's wrong with these cats? And nobody mentioned the fact that it was because of that power grid or whatever they doing was deregulated. And them cats, when they was deregulating it, they wasn't going to spend no money and with no protections on how to keep nothing. All they were going to do is try to increase their profits, right?
That's it.
And they knew that in the event of a natural disaster, they didn't think they were going to ever have a natural disaster of this magnitude, and they weren't prepared. But it was that deregulated sense, the economy or that ideology that got them in that type of pickle. And then they had the nerve to be going begging to the federal government, and then you don't want the federal government to tell you what rules to apply. Ain't that's some shit. And they need their ass kicked.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say it. And I'm going to say it. MF, you need your ass kicked. Because all of a sudden you want to be free, and then all of a sudden when you get rocked to your knees, now you need me? Man, blank you. Then how you gonna do some stuff like that? Y'all know on some stuff like that in regards to all the people, because everybody ain't rich that can live and function in no deregulated society like this boy who got on his plane and took his kids to Mexico. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
Everybody can't do that. And so you left them people with nothing, where the only thing that we could do was pray for them.
Mm-hmm. And that was the first thing he said. Ain't nothing I can do. I'm going to take my kids to Cancun, where it's warm at.
And then they want to
capabilities of doing that, but it's disrespectful to the people that voted for you that are sitting there suffering at home.
And then y'all want to keep hollering about how great it is to be deregulated, but yet and still, when you need help, you calling the government. How you gonna have both things? That is some. The last presidentism.
It's like the mayor down in one of the Texas towns was saying only the strong survive. You sitting there waiting for somebody to come save you. Forget about it. Figure it out on your own. And she had to end up resigning.
Yep, that's what I heard today. Yeah. They resigned.
I mean, it's a crazy thing to say.
Sensitive. Come on.
Yeah, it's nuts. The basis of deregulation is built on a faulty presupposition to begin with, which is, we're just going to trust businesses to do the right thing. It doesn't work like that. It never has.
Yeah, that's like putting the wolf in the chicken coop.
Yeah. Look at what happened when businesses got tax breaks in 2020. And they with the first stimulus, all that, what they do, they bought back their own stocks. They laid people off anyway. This is what businesses do. They're just in it for the profit. If you think that they're going to do anything else other than that, you're always going to be wrong.
Always. Was that what you say, Professor? That Reaganism trickle down?
Yeah,
come on.
Voodoo economics. That's what Bush once said, man. That's voodoo. That ain't gonna work. But they bought that hook, line, and sinker. And so, again, if you get a chance to see that Ronnie Reagan documentary, please look at it. Any book you can find on Ronnie Reagan, any book that talks about the myth of Ronnie Reagan, please read it. Because this Make America Great Again and that America First ideology does not include you at all. It never has and never will include any of you, anybody that is not of what it's not going to come, not unless you Leo Terrell. And then you're going to get paid to get called in. I love it when they call in that hollering black brother. I love it. Oh, man, I love Trump. Trump is the best thing. He's this, he's that, he's done that. Yeah. And you ain't said, James Brown said, talking loud, saying nothing.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys, does anybody understand why Republicans love Reagan so much? Because he literally stood for everything that they hate. You know, his first year in office, he cut taxes, and that increased the deficit threefold. Then he raised taxes each of the successive 7 years that he was in office. Let's see. He gave clemency to almost 3 million immigrants. He negotiated with terrorists, right? Like, he did everything that they say they hate, and yet somehow they still love him. I don't get it.
From my perspective, I think it's this. It deals in revisionist history when you're the Republican Party. Yeah. So when you create a story and narrative, you need good guys and bad guys, and angels and demons, and white hats and black hats. So when you're creating the myth of a Ronald Reagan, he is the godfather of the current conservative party.
Right.
You need that to put him on the upper echelon and then work your way down. So you embrace him now, because after the years that he's gone, who doesn't want to have a corporate line in their pocket? Who doesn't want to have a house in the suburbs and away from the city because black and brown people live there? So when you go back and look in hindsight with certain Republicans, well, he wasn't really that bad.
Right. So
let's change the narrative and make him the godfather of our party. And then along the way, the party, I think, just started letting anybody in. Conspiracy theorists, teabaggers, everybody else, because they feared that one day they will be non-existent.
Right.
Strength in numbers. So that's just my perspective. I mean, as a talk host, going on to 30 years for me, and working in conservative, white male conservative radio, it seems as though that the party started from one direction and then went slant and started to invite other people in. And then it changed down the road, as you said before, Francisco, about the history of Ronald Reagan. And all of a sudden he's, put this on this pedal. So I think that's all the above, and the fact that you want people to come on board with a party for future references. The old guard was dying off. The young guard was coming in. I also throw in Rush Limbaugh with his rhetoric, because him being syndicated back in 1988 started that type of movement and rhetoric, I said before, that paved the way for a Trump. But in between that time, you wouldn't have Fox News, and you wouldn't have a Sean Hannity, and you wouldn't have Tucker Carlson and Mark Levin and had not been for Rush Limbaugh. So he was a great catalyst for that. And also going back to George W. too, he was the catalyst to get him into office. So when you look at the bullet points of all that in between, it's a matter of creating a narrative that's going to work, that's going to bring in future possibilities of people who want to follow the Republicans. So all that encompassing, it's an onion like anything else. I think for me over the years, those have been the major quote unquote contributions.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that boy Ronnie Reagan.
Oh yeah.
Just a straight up propagandist, man. Straight up propagandist. And
but that's what they do. That's what the Republican Party. Now, this is my take on it. The Republican Party is basically toast. They're done. They're burnt out. And now they're beginning to eat their own. And it's being sponsored by, pushed by the former president. He's still trying to keep control of the Republican Party because his approval rating is still fairly good. But what they don't understand is all they have to do is give it some time. That's going to diminish because he's not in control. He's not in power. He can't do much unless You let him do that. Twice now, the Republicans have failed the party by protecting this guy because they've been fooled in believing that the numbers and the ratings and all that are real, with a real foundation. I say it's temporary at best because the majority of the people in this country voted against that ideology by 7 to 8 million people more. The Electoral College determined that he didn't win. It's not going to get any better, but it works for him to keep his name out there because he's making the money. Now, for the Republican Party, you are destroying your future because none of you, all but 7, had the balls to do the right thing. That's disgraceful.
Yeah.
What does this guy have? Does he have pictures on all of you? What have you done that you were
it would have only taken 17 Republicans to do the trick, and we couldn't find that. And here's my concern. I mean, it's not really about that he was acquitted, even though, of course, it's an enormous disappointment. But my concern is not that he's going to run again. He's obviously going to run again. But the question for me is what happens when he loses the next time? Because he's going to lose. You know, America's had enough of him. He's going to lose next time unless something absolutely insane that nobody sees coming happens. But if Biden gets his agenda across, which it looks like he's heading in the right direction, then Americans are going to be relieved. They're going to be made whole again, and things are going to be better. I don't think anybody wants to go back to the madness that we just lived through. So if he runs and loses again, what's the next terrorist attack going to be? That's my question.
Yeah.
So do you think he's going to throw his hat back into the presidential election?
Yeah,
Probably.
he's not in jail.
Probably.
Yeah.
If he's not in jail, that's the key.
Yeah, he's got a lot of legal battles still in front of him.
Right. That's why I'm thinking that if he gets a felony conviction in one of these state charges,
he's federal.
That knocks him. Yeah, that knocks him out of the ability to be able to run for president.
Yeah.
But he's definitely, swinging at bitch McConnell.
Yep.
You know, he's swinging on him hard right now. You know.
Well, see, Lindsey Graham has turned his back on Mitch because Lindsey is thinking, well, Mitch, he ain't gonna run again, so I got to position myself so that I can take over control of the Republican Party in the Senate. Mm-hmm. So there's a little battle there. Trump is pumping up Lindsey Graham because he say, hey, look, man, you helped me get back in there. I got you. We'll make sure that you take over the rings with, in the Senate, and then we can rock and roll. Oh, yeah, man, that's a good idea. I'm telling you, these are the kind of conversations that's going down. But it was a conversation with Trump and McConnell. When McConnell was blocking all the things coming to the Senate, coming from the House, he told him, hey, man, don't hold up. Don't vote for none of that shit. Don't worry. When I win again, then we're going to be, boom, we're going to bring out all these ideas back, and we'll own it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So with the stimulus package, I mean, come on, man. If you got any soul, any emotions about the American people at all, you would have passed that last year, 7-8 months ago. That little stimulus they gave us up front, there should have been another one right after that. And it should have been another one after that. We should be going into number 4 because of the longevity of this thing. And for the safety of the American people. Now they want to open up the schools. And half of the schools probably don't have the facilities to protect those children, the air circulation. Listen, if they can make the classrooms smaller so that you don't have 25 or 30 kids in a class, if they can do that now, why didn't they do that 30 years ago? This has been a problem for forever. When I was in school, hell, we had 30, 35, sometimes 40 kids in a class.
Mm-hmm.
We packed them.
I ain't sending my baby back to school.
I'm with you on that. I've already told my son and my daughter, don't send my grandchildren back. You do, you're going to have to deal with me.
Mm-hmm.
So no, and no. So the thing we got to do, man, is hold our government accountable and make sure they're doing all the things necessary to protect all age groups. Now, I heard the president say the other night that the young people, K through 8, are less vulnerable. But I don't want to take no chances. Not that I'm not going to argue against the president, but I would say don't rush to fail. That's what my dad used to say to me all the time. Let's make sure, okay? We're already taking 2 vaccines that we now find out that may not be as effective to these new strains. We rush these things out. The game is constantly being changed. This virus is morphing into other strains. So what are we going to do? Have to get another shot after that? And another one after that? We don't know. We don't know because we're rushing for an answer. And the real answer is protect the American people, spend the necessary dollars to keep people that don't need to be at work right now, to keep the kids at home. Let's make sure that everything is Copacabana. Everybody put your damn mask on. Stop being jerks. And then we can get this thing under control. We've got to get to that point before you can go to the next point. Mm-hmm. And we still got people arguing over a damn mask. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah, well, you know that that's them folk. But you know the one thing I did like,
them folks got to do the right thing
about what JB said. You know when they ran what the old president did. JB said, "Man, we had 4 years of this dude. Let's change the script." Mm-hmm. So I think that and at least I'm gonna make a conscious effort of it. You know, I mean, I got to treat this cat like the media treated Louis Farrakhan. You know, they stopped saying the name, man. They stopped saying the name, and they went with out of sight is out of mind. Because this cat, he 5, 6, 7 years, you know, when he started his thing, he's been constantly in the tube. People is, you know, he's been in sight. But now that he's out of sight, man, we got to keep him out of sight. You know, make up another name and some other kind of way, or just I guess Darth Vader, the evil empire, you understand? Because that was nothing very beneficial to any of us, nothing. And we need to take it all the way back to its origin, to Mr. Reagan, you know, because this boy, this last dude was just an artifact, or he was a variant of this Ronnie Reagan. We make
steroids.
Yeah. I mean, he was just a variant, and so we got to get to that evil intact. That's the evil that has to be destroyed. You know, we can't just focus on this just one piece of evil coming from this one individual, because you still got other cats that want to carry on this evil. That boy that took his girls to the to the Mexico. You know, this cat is operating as a politician that has no accountability to people. That's the evil that has to be stopped. You got these cats that's in these elected offices doing this thing, right? And they do their thing, but then he's going to do what he want to do, and then he going to come back and tell a lie. He knew he was out of pocket. He jumped on the plane right back and got back in town, and then he never should have went in the first place. You know, he could have paid some people to go with him, because that boy was supposed to take care of the people in his state.
Yep.
He was supposed to do that first. You don't disrespect the people that voted for you. But as long as people accept that based on politics and color, and if you ain't Janet Jackson talking about what have you done for me lately, you know, we're going to continue to be in this same pickle. that Dave Chappelle talks about. We're going to listen. And I had to go with Chappelle, the way he said this, and you got to listen to him before yourself. When they decide they want to solve the problem of the black community, it's going to be all right. Until they make a focus on taking care of us first, ain't nothing happen. Ain't nothing ever going to get straight about this. Ain't nothing ever going to get straight about us. They need to take care of us. They need to address it. They need to, not with no We Are the World, not with no damn song, with some real activity. Until they take care of us, they need to take care of us. Look out for us in some kind of way. And after they do that and they know they've done it, and then we continue to be foolish with what we do, then they can kick us to the curb. But they've never done nothing for us. Maybe one or two. You know, if your name is this or your name is that, and you did this and you made that, if they made 100% of what you was making them, like we remember when one of our artists got the contract. Well, they gonna give this artist $70 million to sign, right? So if the record company is giving you 70 million, they making 700 million.
At least.
So they got to come by and they got to do us right.
Yeah.
You know, you got to stop. Right. You got to stop.
Fair.
Yeah, you got to stop killing us. You got to stop doing this crazy stuff. You got to put it that treat us like you want to be treated. Don't treat us like you own us. Treat me as if I'm a human being. You know, just like you.
Everyone is asking for. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
About this. Don't stand in the door and not let me through. You know, get out of the way. If there's an opportunity for anybody, they should have access to it. And they should have support. You know, as far as school funding, the richest country in the world, we should not be sitting around here talking about, man, I can't afford to go to school. No, man, we shouldn't be having that discussion. Man, it should be automatic. Come on, man. It's
I'm glad you said that, Lee, because I'm glad you said that. They got OA and OAN, they got Newsmax, they got all these right-wing agenda type things and won't let us have one.
Well, this is where we're going to have to change our thinking. I don't care how many they got. Let's build our own.
I'm with you.
Build our own.
There's
nothing standing in the way from us having the same thing. There's no reason why we can't take this network and put it on some of the other cable networks like Roku or whatever. It doesn't cost $1 million to do it.
And so,
we just got to make that happen.
And like I asked this question, and this boy was in the game, playing the game, and he got right partners and this, that, and other. J.C. Watts, that politician, and he got some investors, but I can't see the Black News Network in Chicago.
Yeah, but where is his network?
He down in Florida.
I've never seen it.
Right, he got a great relationship with FAMU. They got a great program down there. It's intern, all that stuff. It's gonna be geared. It's gonna be geared, you know, for black journalists and all this old kind of stuff. But nobody's seen it. But the minute he came out with it, then you got iHeart. They came out with the Black News. They came out with their Black News Network. CNN got their own leg and this, that, and other. Make it so that we can. Why do you have to own everything all the time? Just let me have one thing to own so I can do my thing myself.
We have to do that.
Well, I hope so, Lee. I hope so, and I want to
stop looking for somebody else to pave the way for you. Pave your own way.
I'm talking about by policy, by law and policy. Because the law and policy ain't gonna be for us. They need to reenact the distress sale policies. You understand? When they stuff start faltering and things like that, then they need to get incentives to sell. The distress sale policy, the tax certificate policy that Newt them killed. They need to get out the way and bring that stuff back so more people, and I ain't talking about black people, I'm talking about other people, other voices can have a thing.
Sure.
I think this boy Trump gonna come up and put his own network. He gonna put his own self on the
he was going to do that before he ran gained the presidency.
Yeah, that boy gonna do it himself.
There's two legs to what you just said. Okay, you can change the Federal Communications Commission rules and put in policies in place that if you are a broadcaster and you want to sell your station and nobody wants to buy it, it probably means it's not a good property.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to donate or sell that station at a reduced price to a minority concern, then that should be an option. But the other leg to that is the financing of it. Mm-hmm. So if I'd love to own a radio station. I'm sure you would too, Reggie, but we can't get financing.
Costs too much to get them right.
But right. The banks are already invested and they're upside down on those loans.
Yep.
So you can't go to Bank of America and say, man, look, I got this radio station, and I've said this before. And I can get it for $20 million. They said, which station is that? Well, it's WXXXXX. Okay. We're already invested in that deal. We've got $55 million in it now.
Man, and Lee,
station.
Here's the thing, Lee. If they go bankrupt, they don't lose the station. They can still keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, they renegotiate the deal. That's just like iHeart flushed $11 billion in bankruptcy. And they're still in.
They
didn't lose any radio stations.
That's cold.
Everybody that owned some of that paper took it in the shorts.
Man,
they're over there ready to commit suicide.
Man, that's just cold blooded.
It is, but that's the game they play.
Yeah, and so and that's why. And
then they give themselves a bonus for flushing,
right?
Yeah, for flushing $11 billion.
And so I'm glad that we get a chance to just think if there were more voices saying the other side.
Yeah.
Just more voices to say the other side. Of course, if we get really tough, you're gonna get a call. Hey Lee, how you doing? You're gonna have to we want to buy that Street News Network. Yeah, we need to get that.
It's not for sale.
Yeah, but Lee, you're doing too much.
It's all right. It's mine.
You're doing
it's
too
ours.
Much. Listen, Lee.
I didn't build this to sell it to you for you to destroy it.
Yeah, I understand.
Lose my number.
Lee, well, we got to have. Okay, I'll tell you what. Well,
you can get off my phone.
Yeah, and then after that, you're gonna see a Soul News Network. You're gonna see a Bold News Network. It's gonna be about 8 of them, and they're gonna.
I'm not afraid of competition. I've thrived on competition. Bring it. Come on with it.
And so that's
me at my game. Shame on me.
That's the beauty of our medium that doesn't exist now. We cannot compete against ourselves. I remember the days of you as a programmer, Lee, in Chicago, when you was going up against Steve Harris or Graham Alexander, whoever the cats was at GCI, and then you had Dimitri at JPC, and then you had E. Rodney at VON. That was the best radio I'd ever heard in my life.
That's right. It was pure competition. And so, everybody brought their A game to the best of their ability.
And so, until we get to that point,
in every city in America.
Yeah, and until we get to that point, man, and I think we were better people behind that. We were better people behind that because when you get more diversity in the voice, you just don't read just one book like people are reading now, the book of the ex-president or the book of Ronald Reagan. You don't be read. You got to have more information than that. Information is power. And until we have that, where we can compete, how you gonna compete with somebody that has 858 stations?
At one time, it was about 5 urban-oriented stations in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Station over in Gary, JPC, VON, GCI AM, GCI FM, and BMX. Did I miss any? Now, when you look at those, there was only 2 FM out of that whole group. And out of the whole group, there was what? The station over in Gary. What was it called? Others?
Was it LTH? Or
LTH.
It was LTH, WWCA that was in Gary.
Right.
Those two. LTH.
That was owned by minorities, wasn't that a black owner?
Yep.
Okay.
I think one of them was a church guy.
JPC was black owned, Johnson, and VON was black owned. So there were 3 black owned AM stations. 1 AM station that was owned by the same company at the time that I worked. It was Globetrotter, it was GCI AM and FM, and then you had BMX. And BMX's AM was WOPA at the time, and it was primarily Polish program. But the ownership of those stations, black ownership, was the AMs. They were competitive. JPC was making money, VON was making money, but they were the underdogs in the competition. GCI and BMX were the big guns on the FM band.
Well, Barry got a chance to own it for a minute, but as soon as Telecom was as soon as Telecom got passed, Barry threw in the chips right away.
Yeah, well, he turned a big profit. He bought it for $27 million, and he flipped it for what, $100 million?
Yeah,
100 and change. So, he could look at it from a bottom line, and if I remember correctly, him and his partner both own about 5% of the deal, so 10%. So 10% of the $100 million, they walked away with about $5 or $6 million in their own pockets. That was, the gross piece that they got. So that's all good and well. But today, there's less minority-owned radio stations in America than it was 30 years ago.
You know it.
You would think that it would be going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But because of the change in the ownership rules, it forced a lot of those small 1-station, 2-station owners
out
to sell because they couldn't compete when they started buying 4 and 5 and 6 radio stations in the market. You were surrounded. They could take all the advertising dollars out of your pocket.
Yep.
If you're sitting there with a 2 share collectively, the big guy might have had a 16 share in the market.
You could have been number 1 in the market.
Yeah.
Number 1. There's a study out there. If you want, I could send it to you. It's called "When Number One Is Not Being Enough." I met the author. His name was Kofi Afori. And he put that out. You could be number 1. They would come in and surround you, and would charge the same amount that you're charging, but they'll give 4 different outlets. And advertisers gonna take that deal, man.
Sure.
They gonna take that deal, and you gonna get ran out of business, man. But that's that's how that go. But I'm thinking about Limbaugh, and then the greatest thing, and I disagree with 100% everything he said, but I agreed with the fact that he had the opportunity to obtain the American dream.
Right.
He went from nothing to something. And that deregulation environment, made that like trying to, what did they say, trying to put a needle through the eye of they made it so small that, my little dream as being a little 13, 14-year-old broadcaster coming, it was gone. It was gone. And so he had a chance to live his American dream, and that's cool. But and only Tom had a chance to do his dream. Doug had a chance to do his dream. But then I'm looking at these kids I'm teaching. Go ahead.
Doug didn't realize his full dream because he wanted to own a radio station as well. So he didn't get a chance. Nor did Tom, but Tom owned his media company.
Till they gypped him out of it, right?
Right. So, he couldn't get it one way, so he got it another. One of the things that I tried to put together was the energy of some of the top black radio announcers who was making good money to come together, pool our monies together, and start buying stations. And it was unsuccessful because when you have a conference call with 4 or 5 cats, the egos get in the way, and it was, well, who's going to be the president? I don't give a damn. I got $2 million I want to invest. What are you guys willing to put on the table? And let's go get WKYS. And this is a real story. Collectively, of the 4 or 5 cats, we could have gotten that station. Okay, because when NBC was ready to sell it, it would have been really attractive to have the top 4 or 5 cats in the business to take over that radio station. But we couldn't come together on who was going to be the president. And I told him off the top, I don't care. I'm not pulling everybody together to do it. Maybe it shouldn't be any of us. Maybe we should hire somebody to run the operation. And we be the key investors. It's about building something. And I'll say this, and I'll challenge the professional ball players, no matter what, whether you're football, baseball, basketball, or dodgeball, I don't care. You're always talking about, well, the ownership ain't being fair. Well, damn, man, put your money together, okay, and buy your own team. Start your own team. Think about that. When you go into retirement, what are you going to do? I mean, some of the guys have degrees in other, areas, and that's great. But why not own what you build? Why not? And then create that path for the next generation. You shouldn't be sitting around and say, well, damn, man, Dallas, they don't do right. They need to hire some more, they need a black quarterback, or they need this. No. You don't need to have that discussion anymore. There's enough wealth in the minority community between blacks, Hispanics, and Asians. You can do anything you want to do if you sit down and come together. And we talked about it last week. Greenwood Bank that's trying to come together in Atlanta, Georgia. I can't wait till they open up. I ain't got a lot of money, but what little bit of money I got, I want to open up a business account at a Greenwood Bank that's going to be based out of Atlanta. I'm putting my money in that bank. It's going to be a black-owned bank, and I'm proud to say that I will support that. If I put my money in Greenwood and then they want to fund some of my ideas, we got a good business relationship. That's what it's all about. I'm waiting for an answer right now, ladies and gentlemen, from Chase Bank that I've been banking with for over 10 years. I have a personal account. I have a savings account. I've got a business account. Okay? In my business account, I do not have a business credit card. Okay? And I said to the lady just day before yesterday, I need you to support me and give me a credit card. I don't care if it's for $500 damn. I'm trying to build credit in my limousine service. I need your support. I've been supporting you. I have a clean record. There ain't no late fees and none of that shit. I've never asked you for a penny, but I've been banking with you. Now I need you to bank with me. So I'm waiting for an answer. Fill out the application. You know that I had to use my personal credit as well to get my business credit card? That ain't right. My business account has been open for 2 years at Chase. Never had a bad check. I don't even own checks. I pay my bills on time. Perfect record. I got a little bit of money in the bank. So why can't they give me a credit card? I've proven myself. So if they don't, and I told the lady, I know she's just basically a clerk. She don't make no real decisions. But I told her, I said, tell somebody that if I don't get a credit card with Chase Bank, I'm pulling all my money out. I will find somebody who will. So if we don't start thinking that way, ladies and gentlemen, and it could be any bank. If Wells Fargo is listening right now, who I've banked with, I banked with them for over 20 years. They did the same damn things. That's why I left them.
Just
Bank of
FYI,
America.
on the Chase Bank in Chicago, over the summer when they were doing the Black Lives Matter protests, they protested outside of Chase Bank in the community on the south side and all over the city because that's where Chase put their local branches at. And they forced them to come up with an agreement saying that they were going to circulate money into black businesses on the South Side, because that's where they put their branches at. They were deliberately marketing the black community, but
circulate that money in the community that's giving you the money.
But they did not return any of that money back into the black community on the South Side. And none of the businesses, they wouldn't fund anything. So corporate in Chicago agreed to be able to put so much money back into the community. But that was an initiative that came out of the Black Lives Matter protests. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, what was accomplished during the Black Lives Matter movement?
A lot.
That was one of the victories that came out of that. And they would protest in front of Chase banks on the South Side and on the West Side. They didn't go downtown. They didn't care about downtown. They were only concerned about getting that money circulated back into businesses on the South Side and on the West Side where their branches were located. And they agreed to do it.
Mm-hmm. Have they?
Nobody has given us a report card on who's been funded and who has not been funded.
We got to follow up.
But it will be, I'm sure, the people that were on top of that. And that's one thing I will say about the Black Lives Matter movement that took place. People said, well, why were there so many different agendas going on, you know, in the black community during the Black Lives Matter movement? That's because we need help in so many places, in so many areas. So the agenda and the need is so wide. You got so many people that were dealing with the banking issue. There were so many people dealing with the police brutality issue. There were so many issues that needed to be addressed. When they all start moving in force, then they kind of splintered off and start dealing with their agenda that was the benefit all of us. Okay. So yes, things have been getting accomplished and we still need more stuff. You know, we still need more stuff.
I think we're at the beginning of many changes to come because the awakening has happened. You know, I see more young, non-black, non-Hispanic people in the fight. They're involved. They're making a commitment. They're speaking out. And when you can go to a family gathering and you hear old crazy ass Uncle Bobo, you know, making some stupid statements, and you take him on and say, hey, Uncle Bobo, that's kind of racist. You shouldn't be saying that. And that's what's happening now, man. Young people, you know, you got to understand, they've gone to integrated schools, more interracial dating. And I know that pisses the hell out of a lot of people, but get over it. You can't stop love, man. You can't stop it. And people are not afraid anymore. Once upon a time, man, if you were a person of color, you couldn't walk down the street and hold hands and kiss somebody of another race in public. I'm old enough to remember that.
Me too.
And do it safely in certain parts of the country. Now, you might be up north and you get away with it. It was a little less intense.
Might be able to get away with it. Okay.
Yeah.
But down that on there. Might be able to get away with it because it wasn't no guarantee.
The good thing about the South, you knew exactly where the cat was coming from because he'd tell you, hey, boy, I don't like that. You need to get on up out of here. But up north, they didn't say anything, but they had the same emotional reaction.
Look, trust me. They said
chooses at a high-end hotel. I'm standing in line, and I was going to the National Association of Broadcasters convention, paid for my hotel 3 months in advance on my American Express card. I'd already paid the damn bill, and I get there to the counter, the guy tell me I don't have no room. I said, well, you took my money 3 months ago. How could I not have a room? I've got a reservation, confirmation. I'm sorry, sir, we're overbooked. I said, well, what about all these other people? There's 25 people standing behind me. Well, it just depends on their reservation. What do you mean by that? So I'm sitting here having this debate with this cat. The guy behind me happened to be a white guy. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, wait a minute. So if he doesn't have a room, then I don't have a room, right? Is that what you're telling him? So if he don't get a room, then all of us need to get our refund and get the hell up out of here. Is that what you're saying? And I said, well, I think you better get a manager out here. So the guy walked away from the counter. The manager came out and he got there at the computer. So, well, let me take a look at things here, sir. And all of a sudden, magically, he found me a room.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up to my room. First of all, it wasn't the type of room that I had reserved. It was a little tiny ass room, a little bit bigger than a closet. And the air conditioning, the heating system, it was in the wintertime, didn't work.
Oh.
The room wasn't made up. Somebody pissed on the floor in the toilet. So I come back down. I said, yo, man, what is this? I said, what do you mean? I said, it's a dirty room. It's small. It's not what I paid for. I asked for a king-size bed. It's a queen, and it hasn't been made up. The guy said, well, okay, let me check. And all of a sudden, he found me yet another room, which I had already paid for. So was that a racist thing? I'm the only black guy in the damn lobby. So I got to take it that way.
Yeah.
I got to. I mean, what else is there? Well, I just happen to be the unlucky guy that's going to get screwed after I paid $250 a room. And that was 30-some years ago.
Send a picture with your American Express, and then they won't have that problem. Okay?
Oh, and I called American Express after that, and I told them of the bad experience I had.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so it happens everywhere, and maybe a little less today than it did 30 years ago. And I'd like to think that it's gotten a little better. But in the last 4 years, I'm seeing shit that I didn't see 30 years ago.
Yeah. So. Let me throw this theory out there, and it's just a theory. Many of us on the line remember when Nelson Mandela spent most of his life in prison in South Africa. Then came along a president, President de Klerk. President de Klerk was the person that let Mandela out of jail and began the process of being able to bring equality to his country. Many of you all remember that?
Sure.
Yeah. I look at where we are now as a crossroad with Biden. Biden is the person that has put more people of color in his administration than any other president in history. So I look at him, he has the opportunity to do for America what President de Klerk did for South Africa at that crucial time. So he's got a lot of uphill work ahead of him, but he has people in his administration, in his cabinet, to advise him on how to approach some of these things to be able to accomplish some of the things that need to be accomplished. Mm-hmm. So he has already said that the Republicans are not with me on any of my agendas, none of them. Okay. So he now knows that he's going to have to do all of this with the people that are in his party. Okay.
Well, that's what the Republicans do.
That's exactly what they do.
You know what I'm saying? So not monkey see, monkey do, but the reality is if you're going to bring about the change that's going to really help everybody, then do what you got to do when you got the ability to do it, when you got the power and control. Just like when Obama came in, he had 2 years, he had the House and the Senate. He did as much as he could have done, or he was allowed to do with certain wink understanding that but I can't go but so fast here. And then he as he said, I got shellacked after that second 2 years, after the first 2 years, and things got even tougher. Yeah. So I say to President Biden, do what you got to do with or without the support of the Republican Party, if it is in fact in the best interest of the people. We've had 4 years of not getting the things that everybody needed. Maybe a little dribble here and there, but for the most part, it didn't benefit everybody. So that being said, if necessary, Mr. President, you've got control of the House and the Senate, get your bills passed now.
Yeah, he's addressed that. I read a few quotes of his where he specifically referenced excuse me, his experience in the Obama administration and how that first 2 years was not something that he was going to replicate. So, you know, at least he's saying the right things and he appears to be doing the right things.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think that if he has all of the people around him advising him in a way on how to get things done that would include us in the process, then I think we can get more accomplished now than ever before. And that's why I equate him to very similar type as President de Klerk when he opened up his country to an opportunity to be able to get equality into his country as well. And even to the point where Nelson was able to go on to be president. That was not able to happen before, you know. So he opened up an opportunity. So I'm thinking that Biden, if he continues along the path that he's going, listening, then he will have an opportunity to open up some things in this country to the next generations to come that they can build on. Because you got to start somewhere with building.
That's right. Hey, listen, if I was in Biden's position right now, I would do everything that I always wanted to do when I was in the Senate and couldn't get things pushed through. Make it happen, man. What you got to lose? You're in the senior, the twilight of your years. Build your legacy and do the right thing. I think the man's got passion and compassion for everyone. I don't have the fear that this guy will go rogue like the previous guy and do stupid stuff or self-interest stuff. I don't think that's in his DNA. And I feel in my bones that he will be a better president and do what's right for all of the people in this country. And sometimes there may be things that I say, well, man, you know, that ain't going to help me directly. And I might be short-sighted in how I'm looking at that situation. Because if a president is able to push through things that if anybody applies for it, they can benefit from it, it doesn't necessarily have to be a dedicated black bill that only, you know, gives a benefit to certain people. I don't have a problem with that. As long as I can be included and not excluded.
It's Joe time. It's Joe time. It's Joe time. You know, this stage is perfectly set for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the right experience, the temperament. Yeah. He got it. It's Joe time. It's Joe time. But now, you know, even though it's Joe time, we let him do what he gonna do and let him handle it. And let's feel confident that he gonna handle it. But we still got to do a Stacey Abrams thing.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
We got to have that quiet storm. See, because these
don't sit back on your laurels.
Yeah, because evil is relentless. It is going to continue and it's going to come. But we have to apply the quiet storm theory.
Yep, that's right.
Just do things quietly. Let them holler, hoop and holler, raise, get upside down, walk upside down, do everything that they need. Let them show, but we don't show nothing. Non-disclosure, just do Stacey Abrams. We Stacey Abrams, you know, the electorate in this country.
Speaking of Stacey, does anybody have her number? I like really big sisters like that. I'll go on record.
Yeah, buddy.
You like big sisters, and you cannot lie.
I cannot lie,
man. Hey, well, look, I'm with you on that boat too, man. I'm digging that, man. But
shakalaka,
man,
there you go.
But she's a powerful woman.
Yeah,
she's a powerful woman.
I'm always on the lookout for my next ex-wife. You know.
Oh, my man, my man. Yeah,
there was this rap song came out recently about a few months ago, maybe along a year. She ain't fat though, just a little thick. So I'm with that. As long as she's thick, not a problem. Not a problem at all. That's all right there.
Yeah.
But going back to what we're talking about, this whole thing with President Biden. And I do admire President Biden's optimism because we need that from the current past administration. We need to have hope.
Breath of fresh air.
Exactly. But I think that the optimism, of course, does not go on the other side of the aisle. For example, let's go back to the impeachment of 45 when they first showed the video footage from the team. And then they were saying from President Biden's quote that maybe we're able to change some minds. But the whole party as a whole does not know what it takes to be human. They know what it takes to be the party of Trump. They're not even the GOP anymore. They're not conservatives. They're not Republican. Even Representative Green, when she was going through her crazy time on the crazy train, said the party is his, referring to 45. So it shows you how much power he still wields. But you made a comment earlier in the conversation about what does he have on them? He has pictures on them, on these people that rank and file. I don't think so. I just think they're weak people, extremely weak people, and he was able to put them in the corner, out-bully them, and they show their true colors because they have no backbone and spine whatsoever. Even going back to what Senator Ted Cruz did with this whole thing going to Cancun with his family. Anytime you're a punk and a rap bastard and throw your own daughters under the bus saying, well, they wanted to go on a trip, I took them on a trip. You can't be man enough. You know what it means to be a man. You can't be man enough to say, you know what, I'll take the hit. We planned this vacation, say a few months ago, maybe a year ago. No, you're going to put on your daughters because they wanted to go on vacation. The character that they have are no character whatsoever. None. And so we're seeing this day by day when you pay attention. The reason why 45 could hijack the party because the party had no backbone to begin with. And he punked them all out.
You know, if I was Ted Cruz, and listen, I've got kids of my own. They're all grown now, but I have grandchildren. And I love them all dearly. But in a crisis, there's a teachable moment for your children when you can say to them, hey, I know we planned this trip, but let's postpone this till a little later. But the people in our state are suffering right now. And I was elected to serve them. And I have a responsibility and obligation to stick with the people while they're going through this. And maybe there's something I can do. If my voice can help one family, that's what we should do. Now, that's a teachable moment to your children. I don't know how old his kids are, but that should be a moment that you share that discussion with your wife and kids and say, look, I have this obligation, this responsibility to the people that put me in this office. And I think it would look bad and it wouldn't be a good picture for me to be on this trip. That's now, like, you got an option as a father.
Yeah.
As a male head of the household, you can say, you guys go, but I got to stay, or let's put this thing aside until we can all go. I mean, this storm ain't going to last forever. It may be gone by this time next week. There may not be any more snow on the ground in the state of Texas. Then you can bust a move. That's your job.
That's like the captain of the ship. Maritime law says if the ship is going down,
you're the last man on the boat.
The last man off the boat.
That's right.
Maritime law dictates that.
Yeah.
And everybody else can go. And all of a sudden, now, if the boat is still up enough, otherwise, if not, you go down with the ship.
Right.
Yeah? So, this guy has no etiquette, no nothing.
But he's showing his true colors, man. He don't
always have. Always have.
It's selfish. And not only that, he's going to run again for the presidency. And Marco Rubio as well. Now, here's two guys that are going to have to go up against Trump if Trump is not in jail. And, Trump is going to talk about them and their families, and he's going to punk them like he did the last time. But they've been sucking the Trump pipe for the last 4 years, bowing down to this criminal. And guess what? This snake is going to come back and bite him in the ass again, just like he's turned on Mitch McConnell and some of the other guys. If you're not smoking the Trump pipe, you're out. He will turn on you, just like his lawyer.
Yeah. Now, are they one of the?
He doesn't represent me no more.
Are they one of the 17 that's up for a re-election in the next couple of years?
I think one. I think is it Cruz or Mark? Let me see. I got
might be. Yeah.
Go to the YouTube page of Street News Now. I did a short story on it yesterday.
Okay.
And I got them all listed in order on a piece of burnt toast. Okay. Republicans are burnt toast now.
I mean, imagine what those campaign ads are going to be against them.
Oh, yeah.
How are they going to be able to defend their decisions?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And people are motivated now. They're very motivated to go against these 43, that did not show up to do their job on last weekend. The 43 of the people that voted to not impeach, number 45.
And so 17 of them are up for re-election in 2020.
And then speaking about the 17, the Republican congressman from Illinois, his family wrote a letter disowning him. I don't know if y'all are aware of that or not.
I heard about that.
And yeah, man, they wrote a whole letter saying that he is no longer a member of this family. All he had to do is shut the hell up and vote along with the rest of the Republicans.
Lee Nichols here from Street. Oops. Trying to bring this picture up so y'all can see the name, the list. Well, go to Street News Now on YouTube, and it's even on our Facebook page as well. There's a list in the description of all 17 of them. See if I can. I'm gonna try to share the screen here. Maybe I can bring that up before we get out of here. We've already been up here 2 hours now, 2.5 hours.
Nah,
you guys can't. Your time is horrible. The hell's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, we on Street News Now. We came here for this. We live for this.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 1-hour show. Every week now, you guys are going over. What's up with you?
Hey man, it's Street News Now. I know the owner of the station. We get to do that.
Y'all know people in low places, huh?
Hey, man. I'm trying to know people in high places. Didn't you hear my disclaimer earlier that they can write me off on their taxes?
I just know a lot of high people.
Yeah, that too. You don't think people with a lot of money don't get high? I used to know some folks every day. Every day. They had a martini at 5 o'clock, no matter what time zone they was in. They were going to have a martini at 5 o'clock. Husband and wife team, entertainers, they go all the way back to the big band era. They had plenty of money. They didn't even need to be on tour no more. They just went out there so they can have a different martini in every damn time zone. And they enjoyed themselves, all across the country. Yep.
Wait a minute. I think I figured this out. I have not done a screen share in this app before. I think I got it now. There was a permissions issue.
Okay.
Oh, come on. What is this? Can't be that hard. Share screen. Okay. I got 2 monitors. Browser has locked your screen. I didn't ask you to do that.
Uh-oh.
We are now experiencing technical difficulties.
That's because he got too many toys, man. That's the problem. Yesterday he was doing all kinds of stuff on YouTube, not even trying. And today he can't even get up a share screen.
Right. I'm struggling, y'all.
Oh, not good at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Kensinger is the congressman's name, and his family disowned him. That's what happened. Yeah. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Ken, for the heads up there. Yeah, wrote a whole letter, sent it to the New York Times, sent it to Washington D.C. Man, they sent that letter everywhere. You know, we taking our name back. You know, he ain't part of our family no more. And he's not the only one. I think the Republican from Louisiana got censured, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of repercussions for people that are Republicans that went against, you know, the rest of the party. They stood for what was right and what was constitutional, and now they're suffering repercussions from, you know, their so-called states. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I think the repercussions are going to be worse for the people who chose not to do the right thing.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's good to know that, and I don't know how they individually feel. It's good to know when you do the right thing, you got some attention, even if it's negative attention. you know, because they just want him to be a rubber stamp for the Republican Party. And they didn't sign up for that. You know, and they let everybody know I didn't sign up for that. You sent me here to do a job. I did the job.
Well, it's that Hatfields-McCoy's mentality. You're either on one team or the other, and your team's always right, the other team's always wrong. But that's not how politics is supposed to work. It's supposed to be the idea of people making decisions that are in the best interest of Americans, but that ended a long time ago.
Yeah. And like Ken just quoted on the letter, they told him he wasn't Christian enough to be in the family. You know?
Sure.
That was in the letter.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, why you want to bring Christianity into this? You know? Yeah. Unbelievable.
I don't think they've read the Bible recently.
Yeah. You know, that's easy. Christians vote. You know, anybody can vote. You know, that's who you talk to. That's why you was able over the years of being the so-called GOP, let anybody come in because you want to strengthen numbers, and they can go vote and they can buy into your mentality, and you take it from there. Now, you saw what they did. All of a sudden, you saw the emergence of the Christian right. All of a sudden, knowing that they signed up with a 666, knowing that, but they did anyway.
Yeah.
There they are.
Can you see that? Is that readable?
Yes.
Yeah. If you got to zoom it up like 1,000 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Zoom this up. That's going to take the text out. So that's the list, folks. I don't know if you guys can read that or not, but there's 17. Ron Johnson, Mike Lee, John Toomey, Tim Scott, James Langford, Robert Portman. Did I say that too many times? Let me see. Do I see any of the key guys on there? Yeah, Rubio is on there, number 3. So Rubio, and now I understand Trump's daughter is thinking about running for the Senate seat there in Florida.
Oh,
that'd be interesting. You see the plan?
Perfect swamp for her.
Right, exactly. So there's your list. Consume it. Don't vote for them. I mean, regardless of your party, if you're a Republican, do not support these guys because they voted against convicting Trump because they're afraid of him.
Yeah, they voted essentially to allow a terrorist uprising.
That's it. Now, you guys were in the building when those people were coming in there to kill you.
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make? When does self-preservation kick in? When are you going to send a signal to the American people, the crazy ones, that this is not cool? Don't come into the people's house acting a damn fool, talking about hanging people, hanging the vice president. Now, I mean, I don't like Prince. I think he's a chump, and he rolled over. But at least towards the end, he started to distance himself from Trump, and Trump resented that. He expected Pence to go in there and break the rules, go against what is constitutional, because he wanted him to do that.
Mm-hmm. And Pence literally didn't have a choice about it. He was literally just doing his job.
That's it.
And it was just a formality.
Yeah.
It was just a formality. It didn't have anything to do with votes whatsoever. You know, each electoral college vote had been confirmed, and they brought in for the ceremony. And this idiot had everybody thinking that he turned on them.
Right.
That was it. You know, it was just a tradition that had been followed for every elected president. Every elected president had the same formality. This fool.
Yeah, and again, I think that speaks to the stupidity of the average American that's looking at this and thinking that there's some grand conspiracy involving the Supreme Court and involving government officials who are Republican. I mean, apparently everybody just, conspired overnight to go against the popular vote. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually, I don't know, maybe in his warped mind. Now, y'all help me out here because I'm a little confused. Maybe in his warped mind, he actually believed that when they commenced to walking down the street, banging on the door, breaking the glass, thought that somebody was going to pick up the phone, call down to the White House and say, man, we need you to come down here and continue to be president so that these people will go home peacefully and quiet.
He might have thought that. He's pretty dumb. I'm a New Yorker. I've known about Dump since the 70s and 80s. He's an idiot. So I wouldn't be surprised if he thought that.
Yeah. Yeah, really, in his mind, he thought that they were going to call him for help.
And his former lawyer, Cohen, I mean, he spells it out clear as a bell. He may not give you a directive, but he'll put the message out there. He plants a seed in your dumb head, and then you're going to follow up with what he just said. I think it would be a good idea if you guys go down there and march. But look, who organized that? Who was the promoter? Who got the permit to hold that event? Okay.
Oh, there was some committee, right?
They are liable. Whoever that committee, whoever those people are. And I heard what's this guy he let out of? He gave a pardon to. I had heard, and I don't know if it's true or not. So I don't like to.
Oh, Bannon, Steve Bannon.
Yeah, Steve.
That he had something to do with that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Bannon's another lunatic.
Yeah,
exactly. So he gets his people out of jail that can make shit happen. That's crazy, man. That's criminal.
Didn't we have Chris's friend on the show who said that? What was that guy? The
Republican guy?
Yeah, the Republican guy. He said that was one of the reasons why he liked him, because he gets all his friends out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was being sarcastic or funny or what, but
yeah, I don't know either. No, that was my friend Walter Cannon.
Right, Walter. Yeah, he sure said that.
Huh?
Yeah,
Walter State Cannon, because we ate him up
with steak sauce.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was one of the first things he said out of his mouth. Yeah, I like Trump because he let all his friends out of jail. I was like, okay.
He was Campbell's soup. Good. Man, we were like piranhas. We saw that dude got in that water, man. It was like that movie I saw where they had these mutated piranhas, man. They was swimming at an accelerated amount of speed, man. We took that. That dude didn't have, after he got finished, he stuck his arm in there. He had nothing but bone when he came up. Because we ate him up. I mean, we was relentless, Jack.
Oh man. And Lee wouldn't let nobody else in on him. Lee was tearing him up so much, he was just wearing him out. And then
I'm sorry, man. I lost my damn mind temporarily. Again.
Look, we was like a WWF match. Everybody was trying to tag in.
I love red meat.
Man, that dude got lit. He got lit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And he never did show up on my show. He gave me a date, a time, and everything.
Yeah.
And then
don't tell that lie. Don't tell that lie.
Show up. Did he show up?
No. Well, let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
From what he told me. First of all, now to be clear, I told him about this show, and I told him be on your guard because ain't nobody gonna let up. Like you said before, Reggie, about the whole steak thing and having steak sauce. These Negroes will have toothpicks after when we get finished with you. So I did tell him that. So he was forewarned. As far as your show is concerned, Dr. Ron, he wants to come back on. So you two got to make that happen. So
I called him for 2 weeks straight. He never even responded.
Okay, I'll call.
Yeah, I'll call him.
I'll give you an assist. I'll call him, and then you two got to make that happen because that's going to be more than entertaining to see. But see, once again, it's different. It's like 1 against 3 people. I told him it up front, but to have a more forum where it's you and Fiona on your Tuesday show, and then him, I think there'll be an interesting dichotomy. So no, I'll call him and just make it happen for you.
Here's what I'll do because I don't want the young man to be uncomfortable. I won't say a word. I'll just lay back and watch the show. If you guys want to interview the crazy Republican, that's fine. Y'all can have him. I've already slapped him and kicked him in the butt, so I'm cool. Now, okay. One caveat. He might say something to make me jump in, but I'll try to resist.
I go along with the fearless leader. I'll stay back in the back. Let the Boom Shakalaka and Dr. Ron and Francisco let them get him in. I'll just
No, that's 3 because I talk to his ass every other day. I don't want it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so cool. When he comes back on the show, whether it's Dr. Ron's show or this show, I'm gonna be with you and Lee. I'm gonna sit back in the cut. And then Francisco's new. He likes fresh meat, so it'll be fresh.
Yeah, I'm already starting to feel bad for this dude.
Don't feel bad for him. Don't feel bad for him.
No, he's a good sport. He's a good guy, but
he took it like a chump. But
he did.
Chris, you invite him and tell him to pick one. Pick one of us that he wants to debate with.
Okay.
Yeah. 1-on-1.
And I'm out. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, me too. I'm like Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not out. God damn it! I want him to come.
Well,
show up, damn it! Show up.
Cause I got a big bottle of red Moscato, and I'll go ahead on and give a toast to the food.
Look, and the invitation to come on my show still stands. I want him to come on my show. We got a whole hour to chop it up.
Oh my God.
Okay, a whole hour, an exclusive. Okay.
We're
gonna do a Walter Cannon exclusive.
Oh my God.
And I'm not afraid of him to come on the show. He just, I know, and according to what he told me, he had some other engagements that popped up at the same time. Conveniently, but we had scheduled him. We agreed upon a date.
Right?
Yeah, that was an agreed upon date and time, and he just never made it. So
and to be fair, I know the projects he's working on because he's asked me to come on aboard a few times to work with him. So he was legit about that unsocial situation. But if you guys could reschedule, whether it's here or on your show, Dr. Ron, or there you go, over there, well, right. And then take it from there, and then that way you make it copacetic because that's going to be must see watching.
And the only reason I accept his excuses because of you, brother, because you're my brother, and you told me that he had issues. You know what I'm saying? So I accept that.
Yeah, I was wondering. Was you gonna hit that? Oh no!
But in all fairness, that LGBTQ XYZ or not, that's irrelevant in my mind. And
I mean mine too, but because I'm just not learning how to navigate the alphabet people.
The alphabet people. When you the one that coined the phrase "little dude," really?
I didn't say that. You did not hear me say that. We're not talking about when I don't know what you talking about.
Okay.
I absolutely have no idea of what you're talking about. All I know is that I seen this statement that says, y'all know he's LBGT, and so that
right.
And them is letter people. So
right, I got you. Alphabet.
I'm gonna just leave that alone.
I hear you, bro.
But I don't know nothing about no little dude or nothing like that.
I was trying to tell you.
Boom, boom. Wait a minute. Where's the sound effects? Boom, boom.
Y'all try to keep it above the equator for the next 8 minutes, okay?
There you go. Yeah, we go. Now. Yeah.
I will listen.
The invitation is open to, Walter Cannon?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Cannon, if you're listening, you're welcome to come on the show and have a debate with the talk show host of your choice. Any of the 5 of us that are on the show right now, you can pick your poison.
And I'm out.
Me too.
Well, I'll take a sidestep. I mean, okay, I lied again. My nose is starting to grow. Get back in there. Come on. My bad.
I'm out. I will listen to that.
I just want to inquire about a few things. That's all. Not, I'm not, well, okay. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I am going to inquire about a few things,
Okay. Like what?
I'm just curious to what he did with his $600 stimulus check that he didn't believe people should have got.
Well, my response is if you didn't want it, send it back.
No, I'm talking to him. I ain't talking to you. We know you kept yours.
I'm saying, yeah. I'll take his. If you don't want it, send it to me.
Yeah.
Kept
mine too.
Real talk.
And waiting on that other one because I want a Mac Mini, man.
Yeah, buddy. We were just talking about that earlier today. Me and the legend up there. We were talking about Mini Macs earlier.
Yeah.
I got to have me a Mac Mini, man. They got that M1 chip. I got to check that out. See what that's
a pretty
about.
powerful little machine. It's scary.
Yeah, is it?
Oh yeah. It's so bad, man. It's more powerful than the $5,000 Mac Pro, or even the $6,000 version.
Oh yeah, well I got to get that.
Badass. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get.
The only thing I don't like about it is all of the 3 models that they've just released, with the M1 chip is very, very simple. That it's limited. If you buy the one with the 6 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs rather, and 256 gigs of storage, you can't upgrade after the fact. So you have two choices.
You can't put no more RAM in it.
No,
it's
hardwired in.
Oh yeah, that's right. They say inline. So then I'm gonna see if I can get one with
16 gig
or 32.
No, there's no 32. It's
okay,
8,
well,
16.
Okay, I'll take because the 16 I think is 800. I'll take that one.
Yeah. So then your choice of storage is 256, 512, 1 terabyte, or 2 terabyte.
Well, I'm gonna chain it. I'm gonna dock that.
You can put an external hard.
I'm gonna boot up. I'm gonna boot up from that. I'm gonna get a regular Mac Mini and just keep that and let that be the horsepower thing.
Right. Get you a fast SSD external with a USB-C connector.
Yeah.
And store all your stuff over there. You can even install your applications over on the external.
Yes. That's exactly what I do now, because I still got with the one that came after Lion, whatever came, I think I just got that 10. And so I've updated the external hard drive, and then I'm getting ready to retire that one, and then now I'm gonna get me another 7200 RPM external hard drive, and then boot up everything on that one, and still keep my iMac, because I got an iMac that's been running since that was released in 2011. So, but I've been I keep it fresh by just putting in the new OSs on this hard drive.
Well, I think it hasn't maxed out in terms of the OS. Can you get Mojave on it?
Yes, I mean I got what no, I got High Sierra. I ain't got that. I got the last one on there.
Right. I think you've maxed out on the OS now.
No, well,
yeah. After 10 years, you can't upgrade anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm good with that, because I put the max RAM on it, and all I got to do is just change that hard drive. But it's these new ones, these new little suckers, man. And they got all the RAM burnt on it, so I'm stuck with this doggone laptop that just got 8, and so I don't want that. I'd rather have an older machine where I could take it and then I could put 16 or 32.
Yeah, as long as the computer is doing the task that you need it to do, as long as it's still working, then roll with it. You don't have to upgrade just because Apple or anybody else has come out with something new. I've got a laptop over here. It's running a little slow right now. And I think it's got a terabyte hard drive in it and 16 gigs of RAM and Windows 10 Pro. But, it's feeling its age.
Just pull that hard drive out, man. I put an SSD drive in, man. The only thing when I tried to do that.
SSD.
Yeah, where it messed up at when I did my old smell machine, they sold me a lemon, and I thought I was getting something when they booted it in with when they gave me that i7, that Accord chip. But what happened is they didn't have the heat sink right, and that thing would heat up and shut off.
Right.
It would heat up and shut off. So, I kind of got mad at Smell, and I won't get no more products from Smell, because they even did that. When you look at, they have these outlets and they selling these other products and stuff like that. This is a buyer beware thing. And so you see a TV on sale, right? And they'll chop it down, cut a couple of $100 off of it, and you think you're getting a good deal. But the backlight in these daggone TVs are only last for a year. I got a Samsung. I got a Samsung that I bought, about 4-5 years ago. I'm still running like a top. You understand? That Samsung. And then I bought a newer Samsung that had the internet access, the smart TV and all that stuff, and the backlight ran out of it from a year, and I got that from Smell. So they get no more of my money.
Have you checked on how much it would cost to repair it?
It costs I might as well buy a new one.
Right.
I might as well buy a new one.
Samsung sitting in the closet.
Yeah.
It's sitting in there for 5 years.
Yeah.
It won't fire up anymore.
Yeah, because if I could figure out how to get and put that backlight in there myself, I would do that, Yeah. But I didn't want to take no chance, so it's been sitting up. So I'm gonna just go ahead on it. They real cheap now,
Right.
But again, like I tell you, unplug it. Don't leave it plugged up now.
Why is that?
I mean, well, you can leave them plugged up now, see, because the former president was gone. But if you notice now, here you go. If you notice now, they stopped messing with them Koreans, right? Because that's where the Samsungs is made.
Oh.
And that little red light on the Samsung that never go off, they got the button over in Korea. They push that button, man, that thing will set your house on fire.
Well, they've been getting a lot of fires in Las Vegas. You think that's what it is?
It might be.
I'm telling you, man, apartment buildings have been going up, hotels, houses.
You pull that, when you're not looking at
Trump
that
towers getting blown up, all kinds of stuff in Vegas. They blew one up, didn't they?
When you're not looking at that Samsung, you take it out the wall. You do not leave it plugged up. Pull it out the wall, because as long as that red light is on, they can get to that TV.
Okay, so are we talking technology now? Is that what we're playing with right now?
I mean, I said, man, my Samsung is unplugged right now.
Okay, because I want to show y'all something here. My new future toy.
What you got there? You know, I want to see that.
I thought we was leaving 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, right. You messed up again.
Yeah, well, show this toy and then we can go.
This will wrap it up. Let me share the screen here.
While he's pulling up his toys, y'all, this is the Street News Now. And we didn't kill another 3 hours of y'all time, and we appreciate it. Each and every minute of it. The legend, Mr. Lee Michaels, Mr. Chris Bass, the Professor,
a switcher. Oh man,
Francisco, and myself. And that's the new toy coming in, Black Magic.
Yeah,
that's a switcher.
I have the predecessor, the top end of the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, which only has 4 inputs. This new one here, which would be equivalent to my model, but now with 4 more inputs. So you got 8 camera inputs, or you could run 2 computers and 6, cameras or whatever combination, ISDN inputs.
Oh my
now
God.
It has 2, not ISD, HDMI. You have now 2 HDMI outputs versus 1. And then now you have 2 USB-C outputs.
Oh my God.
And it's got a bunch of other little gadgets and stuff that you can do now that the unit that I have now that can't do. So
Lee,
they just announced this yesterday.
Lee, are you familiar with the TriCaster?
Yes.
Okay, is that better than equivalent to
Equivalent to and probably more better.
Okay.
It's smaller.
Yeah, portable. Okay, cool.
And, this could be portable. And the TriCaster, the TriCaster is a computer in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Software that does all the switching and stuff. This is all hardware that does all the switching. All you got to do is plug this into a computer and install the software that comes with it for free. And damn, I got to hook my other camera up so I can show you guys, because I have the same software that this new unit has. I upgraded the software yesterday that controls that unit, or the unit controls the software. They integrate with each other. To make a long story short, this is the cat's meow right here.
Francisco, remember that conversation we had about Lee and his toys? Now you see it in real life, okay?
Yeah, man. Why not?
I don't need it, but I want it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is I can't do that. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get that iMac, that M1 with this 16 red. 16.
Right.
Yeah, so that
here's the back end of that bad boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
So right here you got a headphone jack. The unit I have does not have that. You can run 2 external mics, but in reality that could be 4, because on each input there's a left and a right, so you can split those. Then you got 8 HDMI inputs.
Oh no, man! You can do AOIP or VOIP on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh man!
HDMI outs.
Oh no!
And you got 2 USB-Cs out. Plus you got a cat.
Oh man, that's it right there.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is take that and just have the cameras.
That's it. And you can listen. You could take this unit here, plug your cameras into it, and this unit will actually send out a signal to only one, unfortunately, social media. So you can set up your Facebook or Twitch or YouTube or whatever. You just put in your login information into it, hit start, hit this button right over here. Where is it? Right here. And that'll take you online.
Man, this thing, it
will record all. If you had 8 channels going, it'll record each channel independently. Okay. And it's got and then you can record the output simultaneously. So you get the final mix plus the individual cameras. So you can take that file after it's done and put it into your video editing, and you can cut up the show after the fact.
Wow.
It's the bomb. Now they've got other machines.
So the internet access is Wi-Fi?
No, it's
that's hardwired.
It can go from that category 5 connection on the back, or when you're sending it into your computer can act as a transmitter.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got your different ways of your transitions, and come in. The camera fades from one side to the other. I can show you a demo like here. See how to slide over? You can slide down. Let's see, you can go the opposite direction, or you can call a drip.
So how do you put your titles in? Like when you need to create titles and things of that nature, tie it into your computer.
You can do that 2 different ways. You can put it into a macro, inside the box.
Okay.
Or you can do it as I'm doing it through StreamYard. What the hell did I do? I hit the button. Oh, there it is. So yeah, there's all kind of ways of doing that. And in fact, I'm getting ready to buy some overlays so we can kind of fancy it up a little bit. And it built into the overlay will have your information in it. So that's the new toy. It was just announced by Blackmagic yesterday.
Wow.
And yes, I've already ordered one.
Man, if that thing, I'm gonna look at that thing. If that thing,
now they've got one that doesn't have the ISO, which records each camera individually, for just under $1,000, so about $300 cheaper.
Man, if that thing is AOIP or VOIP, man, that's ugly.
Yeah, buddy.
That is ugly. Cause at governors, it's like they never had to set up anything analog. They would take whatever they needed, a couple of cameras, and they would go straight into the wall, into the Ethernet, man, and everything would go straight back to the studio.
Right. Now there's another little device called a streaming bridge. $245. You run a cable HDMI out into it, and then you plug that into your Cat5 network local.
Oh man!
And then you could broadcast within your building on any other TV that's on the network.
Oh shit!
And you could be in Chicago, and I'm here in Vegas. You can connect to me through that stream bridge, and I can bring you in as a guest into my broadcast.
What kind of shit is this? Oh man.
You want one?
Yeah, man. I mean, but all of this stuff is like you imagine you don't even have to carry a whole lot of wires and
no.
Man. No. Oh man,
there's the mixer you should have, man.
Yeah, you talking about that road. I'm thinking about that. The only thing that I'm tripping on that is, the only thing I'm tripping about that is like ain't no other line inputs, It's no other line. And they got that old RCA shit. And so I ain't
no, it doesn't have RCA. You got four mic inputs.
And what these are, those speak outs, what are they? Are those quarters?
Over here?
No, this output right. Yeah, that's got to be quarter. Quarter or is that RCA?
It's quarter inch.
Okay, yeah, but they ain't got no inputs on the quarter other than for the headphones.
I haven't played with the 4 mic inputs, but you might be able to pad those down.
Yeah, okay. And do a line. All right, I got that.
Now what I'm using the 2 speakers here. I'm running those to a pair of speakers, but you could run that output into whatever you want to run it into. Like I could run the output of that into my switcher, so the audio coming directly out of the mixer can go in there. But the way I've got it wired. Now is I'm using one of the headphone outputs into the switcher.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can run right now. I'm running the audio from the mixer into the switcher, and the switcher is actually sending the audio output to StreamYard.
All right. So I see now. I see now how I'll use it through the USB because I got a USB mixer.
Mm-hmm.
I would still have to run my computer.
Same concept.
Yeah, I still have to run my
computer. You take this USB right here and run that into your computer.
Yeah.
Then you got the little micro disc you plug in here, so you can hit the record button on this unit and record your audio directly into the system.
Yeah.
Then they have a software bridge that you run on your computer. You open that up, it'll read the files on your Rodecaster, and just transfer them over to your computer. Yeah. Or you can take the chip out and put that in your computer, either or.
Yeah.
Now, what's that little cell phone thing for?
Okay.
They call that's a little phony mix minus.
Yeah, that's you can Bluetooth your phone into it, and it'll do an automatic mix minus, which is what we had Apollo on earlier. And then this unit, this plug-in here, is a regular miniature plug-in, so you can take an older phone, plug that into the headphone jack on the phone, and run that into the mixer, so you could have 2 phone calls on 2 different phone devices.
Gotcha.
So that's the Rodecaster Pro, and they do the like a firmware, software update from time to time, and it kind of expands the capabilities of the unit. So it's not a dead unit if they do an upgrade that fits within that hardware restraint. Then this is the card. I have
is that the one where you get your effects out of, like all of your wah-wahs and all of that?
Yeah.
Where you're coming out of?
Yep. There's the crickets.
Jiminy Crickets.
Where's it? And now, Dr. Ron.
And we're getting the hell out of here.
Where's my damn drum? I don't know. Somebody stole the drummer. Now, the story continues. Who stole the drum? Oh, there it is. All right, okay. Quiet down. What do you think? You're on the Johnny Carson show? All right, folks. I guess we've had enough fun for tonight. So we'll wrap it up. What are you laughing at? Somebody saying something in your headphones?
No, yeah, drunk. My boy, drunk president.
Oh, drunk president. So thanks for listening. Please subscribe, like, and share the program. We're trying to grow this bad boy, and I'm beginning to lose my damn voice. So thank you for listening. Tell your friends, share it out to your social media platform, and we'll see you next Thursday night, same time, same place. It begins at 9 p.m. Central, East Coast, 8 there in the Midwest, and 6 out here on the West Coast. So, again, thank you. You guys got any closing remarks?
Peace.
Oh, that's it.
Peace.
Oh, y'all chumps. You ran out of gas on me, huh? All right, thanks a lot again, folks. We love you. Be peaceful and push for the right thing. Don't give up hope. And invest in the Lee Michaels Bank. I'm sorry, I mean the Greenwood Bank. And be kind to your neighbor. If you see them stumbling, pick them up. God bless all of you. And good night.
Street News Now.
All right. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.